Pombo and Milliken. Tuesdays, 4 to 7. Talking baseball, basketball, and football with just a little soccer and MMA in the mix. WMLN 91.5, Milton, Boston.
All right, Jason, Pombo Milliken, we're finally back.
You did it, yep.
Was that good?
I think so.
Okay, guys. So we don't have producer Ben Brophy with us today for at least the first hour.
Yes.
So your boy Tyler is back to running the board, so if things sound awful, you know why. It's been, what, 3 weeks since we did it? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks since we did a show. I know you guys have probably missed us. We also haven't uploaded the last episode on our YouTube yet, which, we're going to take the L on that one. But we have great things coming this week. We do. Basically 2 shows.
We basically have, 7 hours of content.
God, that's a lot. So for people who missed 2 weeks ago when we talked about it, we have today's show, and then Thursday we have an NFL draft show.
Yes.
That we're doing with The Wiggle.
Yes. With The Wiggle.
Yes, we're all co-hosting it. This event is not owned by anyone this year. Matt Burnett and Dylan Sariva, if you have not heard them before, they are the ones who host The Wiggle.
Brandon Clay is going to be on it too a little bit.
He'll be taking Dylan's place a couple hours in.
Yeah, because Dylan, he's a real student. So
he's a scholar.
He's a scholar, so he's got an early quiz in the morning.
Yeah, so we got to let him go. But, us who like to fail our classes and not do well, we'll still be on air.
Do we even go to classes?
No. Shout out Curry. Curry's, but, let's just start into things. Just for a heads up, we're going to start with some Patriots talk. We'll give the lottery for the NFL draft this year, the first 10 picks. Then tomorrow, me and Jason will release our full first-round mock drafts.
Yes.
And then heading into Thursday, you'll be able to compare them with what actually happens.
Yes.
Did we do too great last year? Nobody did great.
You got Lamar Jackson right. I remember that.
Yeah.
I said Darnold was going first. So.
Did you get Sony? You had Sony, didn't you?
No, I wanted to
You wanted Sony.
I had Sony going to the Eagles.
Okay. Still, you loved him so much. The happiness through the little audio clip we have.
I had him 32nd overall to the Eagles. Instead, he was picked 31. So
okay.
I think he probably would have been picked 32 if he was there.
Yes, there you go. Okay, let's just start with the Patriots schedule. It came out about a week ago now. A lot of people are really feeling the schedule a lot. They're saying it's pretty easy. The thing that sticks out to me probably most is the bye week at week 10.
Week 10, yep.
Yeah, no early bye this year. They get a little bit later so they don't have to panic too much. Last year the Patriots were on the road for several weeks at a time, a couple at different points in the season.
Yep.
This year they only have back-to-back road games once, and it's
Correct.
4 and 5. The other time, what is it?
It's at the end. It's
Eagles and is it? No.
Yeah, it's
Eagles and Baltimore?
There's a bye in between.
Exactly. So that's the one that breaks it up. So that's the only one that's of concern, right? Those are the 2 back-to-back road games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on the same page there. And instead, unlike most years, Roger Goodell's not going to have to come to Gillette on opening night.
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
Maybe. We'll see.
But Thursday night, when
Green
the
Bay,
season
Chicago.
kicks off, celebrating 100 years of the NFL. You excited for that game?
No.
Honestly, I wish the Patriots gotten it so they could have had a little more that mini bye. You know
what would have been a great matchup?
What?
Patriots Cowboys.
Oh, that would have been a lot of fun.
Yes.
But Roger Goodell don't want to come here.
Watching.
Come on, man.
I know. Instead, we're gonna watch Dylan's Packers against his father's Bears.
Go watch Aaron Rodgers break his collarbone one more time.
His other tibia.
And the only other thing is for the Patriots, they have 9 non-1 p.m. start times and 5 prime time games, which is the maximum. Whatever. What are you going to do? You know what I mean?
No, I know.
At least we know what's going to happen in the regular season. I'm not too worried. I think this is a pretty nice schedule. I think there are a couple trap games in it.
Yeah.
But biggest game that sticks out to you this year? That could be a trap game, I should say.
I'm looking at Week 14, home against the Chiefs.
Okay.
That's obviously going to be a great game. That's something to look forward to. Another one is Week 13 at Houston.
Yep.
That'll be a good one.
I don't like that Houston game. I don't like Dolphins Week 2 on the road.
You don't like that?
No, I feel like that's a typical Patriots loss.
It's going to be hot.
Yes, it's going to be hot.
But the Patriots could be at some advantages. Only Brian Flores' second game is being a coach.
It just feels like one of those weird games.
Probably Ryan Fitzpatrick under center.
A little Fitz magic out here. No, Patriots have always had a little bit trouble facing up against their tree or the coaching tree that has gone on to the rest of the NFL.
You might be right. Yeah.
Patricia last year.
Yep.
Patriots went out and
McDaniels
struggled.
beat him the first time.
Exactly. Miami's always kind of hell for them. I think they go down there, probably a tough L, then they're 1-1 for the year. I know some people think the Steelers are going to come out because they're going to see the Patriots presented with everything.
I think it'll be a tougher game than people think, but I don't think
the
so.
Steelers are going to be a lot better than most people think.
So you're with Colin here.
Unfortunately, not that I like Ben Roethlisberger, but, he is where he is for a reason. If he has something to prove this year, I don't think they're going to be amazing, but I think people are a little high on the Browns and a little too low on the Steelers.
I agree.
Yep. Then we have Demaryius Thomas signed with the Patriots, and I think anyone who followed Jason Pombo,
I was not a fan.
You were not happy, Jason.
Not a fan, no. Well, I mean, it's not that I wasn't happy. It's just that I don't really see him really fitting in here. No. So he's old. I think he's 31.
Yep.
Coming off a torn Achilles.
Second torn Achilles.
Last one was December. Well, December was the second one.
Yeah. Last one was 2010, I think. So or does that sound right?
To me, 2012.
Something in that area. It was a while back.
And I think he quits. I think he quits in games. We've seen him do it time in and time again. I'm not sure if he's going to fight for the ball in the air. I don't know. I'm not a Demaryius Thomas guy. I've never been. Not sure if he's going to make the team. If he does, I guess we'll see. If anyone is going to be able to make him productive, it could be Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Yeah, I think what people also got to realize, if he ends up getting cut during camp, it's only $300,000 dead money.
Yeah, that's why it's not a big deal. They signed him for basically nothing.
A lot of people saw the name alone and they were like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah, I'm not about
veteran
that, no.
wide receiver joining the team. Listen, there's a very, very real chance.
We said the same thing about Eric Decker last year.
That's the best way to compare it. There's a very real chance he comes to camp. He's just not himself.
Or Jordan Matthews, or
not healthy.
Shadow Chosenko.
A lot of people are saying there's a chance he may not even be ready for the start of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Achilles injuries typically take 6 to 9 months. He tore it in December.
Yeah,
so
very late December. At
the earliest is June, at the latest September. So
a lot of people also forget he was arrested in February.
Oh yeah, that's
a lot of people have kept that off their mind.
Yeah.
It was a pretty bad situation, if I recall.
Was it like DUI or something?
DUI, I believe it was a hit or he hit someone.
Was it a hit and run?
No, I don't think he hit and run. I think one of the cars flipped over in it. I'm pretty sure, but they were hurt too, so I don't think they left the scene. But he was arrested. He was in jail and he got released on bond. I don't know what the situation is with it now, but people do got to remember, part of the reason probably Demaryius Thomas is here. Josh McDaniels drafted him when he was in Denver, so there's part of that connection. Thomas also burnt the Patriots quite a few times over the years.
So he faced a felony charge of vehicle assault stemming from a crash earlier the month.
Okay.
This was back in
February?
Yes, end of February.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a lot of background. Obviously Demaryius Thomas has had a pretty good record over the years in terms of not getting in trouble. But you have him coming off an Achilles injury, and he's 31 years old. Not a lot of things working in his favor.
He was driving 70 miles an hour.
In a 30?
Twice the speed limit, yep. And his SUV went off the road and flipped over.
See what I'm talking about?
And one of the two passengers suffered serious injuries.
This is not a great sign. And there's a reason why it's going to be basically nothing if they have to let him go. So Demaryius Thomas, it's fun. It's something to look forward to going into training camp, but I wouldn't get too excited. He's not changing anything too crazy.
But then again, you look at that Patriots receiving core and you don't really see much there.
The only thing that puts in his favor, which is a reason I think he could stick throughout the season and be like a Brandon LaFell type, is the kind of routes he runs. He fits right into that Patriots kind of scheme of route running, where it's a lot of short stuff, just a lot of yards after the catch. So will he be able to hit that? It all depends if he's healthy. But having a big body wide receiver like this,
I was just going to say, I think his size is something that they don't have.
Yeah.
So he's 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the biggest receiver they have is probably Josh Gordon, who's about 6'1".
And we can't even count him.
And you don't even know where he's going to be.
Yeah.
So that's before the draft. Who knows? Maybe they can go out there and draft receiver high or whatever.
Yeah, some people are hitting at 32, but we'll talk draft in a little bit. The other name that some people floated, and it's definitely even less interesting than Demaryius Thomas, is Benjamin Watson.
Yes,
who's
Benjamin
having
Watson.
twins this week.
Is he?
Yes. I don't know if he's had them yet. I know they're coming this week.
Oh, yeah. That's like his 6th kid or something.
Yeah.
8th kid. So he's 38 years old. He was contemplating retirement all offseason. But
he collabed with NFL Films to announce his retirement.
Yes.
It was like a whole thing.
And then I guess he went home with his 8 kids or whatever, and he's like, screw this.
I ain't staying here year round, man. I got to go on these trips. A lot of people, I know it's been a while, Benjamin Watson, 2004 first-round draft pick. So has connections here, played 5 seasons here. If he comes, he's not going to be by any means a super impact player. Be more veteran, more blocking, a couple check downs. But I don't know. I think it'd be fun to have Benjamin Watson come back.
It would be as a kind of, I'm going to sound like Nate Olshan, but as a mentor role.
Yeah, oh my God, that is so Nate.
He's 38 years old. And maybe you draft a guy like Noah Fant, you draft a guy like the kid from Alabama.
Jay Sternberger, for example.
From Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Someone like that. And
Irv Smith Jr.
Smith Jr. was the guy I was thinking of. And he's just a backup. He's a blocker. He takes that Dwayne Allen role and you let it roll.
Yeah.
He was with the Patriots from 2004 to 2009. won a Super Bowl, had a little bit of success. So we'll see.
Yeah, a little bit of a Brady connection there, and we know how Brady feels about bringing guys back.
Yeah,
from
Brady
the past.
is close with him too.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get to the Patriots draft.
Let's get it.
All right, Jason. So I think pretty obvious going into this draft, they need to focus on the D-line and the edge. The edge probably even more.
Yep. So in terms of the whole D-line, they lost Trey Flowers to Detroit. They lost Malcolm Brown to the Saints. Adrian Claiborne is no longer with the team. He's with the Falcons. So that's 3 guys in your core.
Yes. Then you go beyond, obviously, wide receiver has been talked about for quite a while.
Tight end.
And then we have quarterback, which has become probably the biggest story the last couple of days for the Patriots. People are hinting at going back and forth, where's someone going to land, who fits here best. But let's go sleepers for the draft. If you had to give me 1 or 2, Jay, who would they be?
So my sleeper this draft is probably, he's a sleeper, but he's going to be drafted high. I really like Devin Bush, the linebacker out of Michigan.
Yep.
I really like him. He's projected to go in that, 7 to 12 range.
Yeah, he's a little undersized.
Yeah.
People have complained a little bit.
But I really like him a lot. If you want me to give you another guy, I like Christian Wilkins, the D tackle out of Clemson.
Yes.
He's slotted to go in the 20s. I really like him a lot. And I saved the best for last.
Go ahead.
Will Greer, quarterback, West Virginia.
And I definitely understand the Will Greer side of it.
Been a Will Greer guy for 2 years. Yes.
It's hard not to like Will Greer. Personality-wise, he's jumping off. Everyone loves the confidence.
Slotted to go probably in the second round.
Yep.
Could fall even farther than that, or could move up to the end of the first.
Some people are saying, he could be that 32nd pick for the Patriots.
He could be. And
we know how quarterbacks tend to move during draft week.
Yeah, who knows? What it's trending to now is the quarterbacks seem to be falling.
Mm-hmm.
There was reports that Kyler Murray might not even get picked first overall.
Yeah.
Dwayne Haskins' stock seems to be dropping.
People are saying he could fall to 20
Drew
possibly.
Lock, some people say he's going to go top 10. Others say he could barely be a first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
So there's so many different options
Finley
you can go by.
stock's
Finley
been rising
from North Carolina
lately.
State. Yep.
It's so up and down.
Yeah.
It's
so
that
you
week
have no
of the
idea.
draft.
He could be picked 32nd overall, but he could pick in the third round. Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Greer. I think the accuracy is what stands very out to the Patriots. You know how they enjoy that accurate quarterback. We saw it with Jimmy Garoppolo. Someone who can make all the throws, a little bit athletic, but not a ton. But I think personality-wise, if you're looking for someone to take over a franchise and lead guys, he's the one who sticks out in that manner. Because you look at Kyler Murray, very quiet. He doesn't seem too talkative. Daniel Jones, kind of in that same realm, but not as talented, I believe, as a true quarterback.
Yep.
And Drew Lock, I don't even want to get started there. But for me, sleepers, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside out of Stanford.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, he graded the highest out of any wide receiver in the red zone, third down and fourth down last year.
I don't think he's going to go in the first round, right?
No,
he's not.
I think he's
like
definitely
2 through 4, right?
Yeah, probably closer to 3. But a lot of people were sleeping on him because of his speed. He ran to 4.49. He's not extremely fast off the line, but he's great in the red zone. He led the nation last year with 19 receptions in the red zone. That's twice as many as the next closest receiver. So, he's shown the ability to go up there, make big plays in big moments, not scared to get physical. And then on top of all those, a lot of the talk, Pro Football Focus was talking about it a ton. The way Stanford ran their offense, a lot of it's a lot of back shoulder throws, a lot of different stuff like that. So you're not going to, no matter what, be blowing past guys, It won't stand out unless you're going true vert or going downfield consistently without just trying to hit a perfect spot. Just for some comparisons in that 4.49 range, A.J. Green ran the same 4.50, Mike Evans 4.53. I think he's a very similar player to Mike Evans in a lot of ways. Do I think he's going to come in and make that immediate impact? No. But he's a great route runner, and that's why I think a lot of people are going to be leaning towards him, and he could kind of shine through that first year.
And in terms of receivers you were just talking about, currently Vegas has the over odds for receivers picked in the first round 1.5.
Yeah.
So that's totally different from what we're used to. DJ Metcalf is probably going to go be the first receiver taken.
Yeah.
Either him,
and even his stock has fallen a bit.
Yeah, for sure. A.J. Brown, that receiver out of Ole Miss.
He's been tied to the Patriots at 32.
Yeah, Marquise Brown, the receiver from Oklahoma. Just those 3 have been on the bubble for the first round pick.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty, it's just not as populated as what we're used to. When
No.
we had that year when we had John Ross.
Exactly.
the kid from Tennessee. I forgot his name.
I think the truth is a lot of teams are just starting to cool off on the physical madness of a wide receiver, looking at a guy and just thinking, wow, that was the John Ross thing. Everyone saw John Ross and was like, this guy's going to run past anybody. No one's, he's a physical specimen. It's not all it takes to play wide receiver, and that's the truth. The other guy I had on my sleeper list, Jay Sternberger.
From Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M.
That was the Patriots' first workout.
Exactly. And I think you look, people somehow for months were putting TJ Hawkinson as a possible guy. He's going to go probably. I have him in the top 10. Most people have him in the top 10.
I have him outside the top 10.
Oh, do you have him outside the top 10?
I
Very
do.
Interesting. Far off or?
No. I have him. I don't want to spoil, but I have him
Give me
in
a
the
range.
top 12.
Okay, yeah. So you're right in the same boat. Noah Fant, his stock is seeming to drop pretty significantly over time. I think he's going to probably be in that 20 range. I don't think he gets to the Patriots at 32. But Sternberger's the guy who most likely is going to be round 2. Runs routes extremely well, huge catch radius, very physical. Has shown the ability to block, something that Irv Smith Jr. and Noah Fant both can't really do. They're more wide receiver built tight ends. Sternberger has shown the ability to run block decently. Not great, but has the body to do it. On top of that, being a pretty good wide receiver out there, it's hard not to see if he's molded the right way, he could probably be the second best well-rounded tight end.
Could be.
In all reality, it's not a great. People probably don't want to hear this, but he's kind of a poor man's Hawkinson in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
in terms of his game.
I like Irv Smith a lot.
You're a big fan of Irv Smith?
Yep.
I think in terms of Patriots.
I like him better than Noah Fant.
I agree. I can see that. I just think in terms of Patriot scheme, neither one fit exactly what they hoped for. But let's go potential bust. I'll go first on this. DJ Metcalf. I think he's a bust.
That was my pick too.
Yeah, is it?
Yep.
Listen, I think it is the John Ross situation. I think that's exactly it. He ran his 40 was ridiculous. What was it? 4.33?
Something like that.
Yeah, something crazy. He never even produced. I think he played 21 games in 3 seasons over at Ole Miss. So I'm not getting too excited over here. He's a physical specimen, don't get me wrong, but he's going to need great coaching and he's going to need a mentor, and I think wherever he goes, he's not going to have that.
I agree. So at a time, he was slotted to go in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Some people had him in the top 5. And he is, other than his 40 time, he did not impress in the combine at all. He struggled mightily at the 3-cone drill. And he did worse than the 3. So the 3-cone drill, it's based on cutting.
Yep. Patriots love that drill right there.
Patriots love that drill. And he did that very poorly. There was quarterbacks that did it better than him, which is pretty sad. But with that being said, it seems like he runs 2 routes.
Yeah.
He runs straight down the field, or he runs a crossing pattern. That is it.
That's John Ross. That's exactly what John Ross is.
I think your ceiling with him is probably Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
So how high would you pick Deshaun Jackson?
And that's a best case scenario. I know a lot of people look at Deshaun Jackson. They're stunned he's still going. These players, that type of player, doesn't have a lot of longevity. I don't think Metcalf is one of those guys who's going to maintain all that speed throughout his career. Deshaun Jackson still blows me away that he can run as fast as he can.
Well, but Metcalf is bigger than Deshaun.
Exactly.
I think Deshaun's like 5'10". DJ's about 6'1", 6'2", I think.
So, eventually that speed's going to slow down a little bit. And at that point, you're running 2 routes. What are you going to do? You're not going to be able to beat people that frequently. I don't see a huge future for him. I think he could come out and have a burst, but maybe that's best case scenario.
That's about it.
Okay, which team, Jason, needs to have the best draft this year?
Oakland. Easy.
After they sent their scouts home?
Easy. They need... This draft is the most imperative for them. They have 3 first-round picks. They have ammo. They're sitting there with the first one is 4. I think it's 4. What is it? 4, 27, and 21 or something?
I believe. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, 4, 24, and 27.
All right, close, yeah.
So they have a lot. They can do whatever they want. They can move up. They can move down. They can select where they're at.
Well, now
they need to make an impression because they're moving to Vegas soon, and they really need to start taking W's here. They're going to sell tickets.
Yeah, this roster still has so little depth. It's not even funny. They went out. I think everyone. Wow, nice throw, Jay. I think everyone is kind of crazy. Trent Brown has already become a bust amongst people for that contract alone.
Yeah,
and that's really scary. They're panicking. They made a lot of crazy moves. They threw a lot of money irresponsibly out to people.
And they have decisions to make. Do they really like Derek Carr? Do they not like Derek Carr? Do they?
What happens if Kyler Murray slips? You know what I mean? Or Oakland wants to move up and go grab. Yeah. I may not be in that line of thinking, but
they need to replace Khalil Mack. Their secondary is awful. Their offensive line is being repaired. They don't really have a running game.
They need an offensive line.
They need an offensive line. They have a lot of holes in this team. So I have an idea of what they're going to do. I think they're going to do something radical. It's been talked about the last few days that they're really going to go out on a ledge and pick someone no one's expecting.
Surprise pick at 4.
Is that Kyler Murray if he falls? Maybe. But I think their first pick is going to be defensive player.
Yeah. at this point for the Raiders, when you have this many needs, you need to go and pick best out there. Whoever's the best player out there, grab them. You have a lot of needs, but you have so many needs, you really don't have to focus on a position. Just grab people, try to bring in as much talent as you can, because at this point, Gruden's sending home the scouts.
Yeah,
Gruden, this is on. It's you
already
and Mayock.
Mayock. Yeah, it's already dysfunctional as it is. No, they need to get it right. They need to get it right, or this is going to get talked about for a while.
Exactly. And, Gruden has said he will pay all that money back if he fails and this doesn't work out. So
guess we'll find out, right? This is year 2.
Okay, should we start with our mock draft?
Yep. Do you want to get it? You want to do 10 through 1 or 1 through 10?
Let's do 1 through 10.
All right.
But before we get into it, who's your first overall pick?
My first pick is Kyler Murray.
Same here.
Oklahoma.
We're both Kyler Murray. Let's talk this Josh Rosen situation.
Okay.
So report came out on Sunday, I believe. Do you remember the exact source who came out and said that the Cardinals are deferring away from Kyler Murray?
I think it was Pro Football Talk.
Was it Pro Football Talk? You sure? I think it was from CBS. I could be wrong.
Double check.
I might be wrong. But now, stock is completely changing on Josh Rosen so quickly. It feels like in the last 2 weeks alone, he has gone from someone who didn't exactly work out his first year but still has a lot of potential to someone who shows extreme maturity, built for the NFL. And, I was a big Josh Rosen guy coming out of the last draft. Don't get me wrong. But there's issues there. If he goes to the right situation, I definitely think he's going to succeed, but I think we're talking ceiling here. I think a lot of people are seeing Josh Rosen as an Alex Smith at this point, ceiling-wise.
I think he can be better.
You think he can be better than Alex Smith?
Yeah. I like Rosen. I liked him in the draft. I liked him better than Baker Mayfield at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much as Sam Darnold, but I thought he was right below him. Obviously, his first year wasn't good. Offensive line was awful.
He was playing with nothing.
Yeah.
He's throwing a Larry Fitzgerald out there.
He's throwing a Larry Fitzgerald and a rookie Christian Kirk.
Exactly.
David Johnson got hurt. The coaching staff was bad. Everything in Arizona went bad. Was it necessarily his fault? No.
They played better when he was out on the field.
But the Cardinals have the opportunity to really dictate what they want their future to look like. Do they believe in Josh Rosen, or are they going to be in a situation where if they don't draft Kyler Murray, are they going to regret it? How often do you have the number 1 pick? Very rarely.
I think when you went and got Cliff Kingsbury, you sold your fate there. When you go for a coach, you're going to give him the pieces. The coach himself is going to attract to whatever's worked best for him. Kyler Murray, there couldn't be a better fit for Cliff Kingsbury. And as great as Josh Rosen may be as a prospect still, and I think from the head up, he's as great of a quarterback prospect as you can find. He's extremely smart. He's extremely alert. He cares about the game. I think the biggest issue, you look at it, even the Cardinals media, we saw the videos that came out the other day, the off-season hype videos. He wasn't even in the first one.
So
there's an obvious lean away.
But here's the issue with trading Rosen. They have no leverage. They're going to get a 3rd-round pick at best for him.
Agreed.
So it's real. You need to, if you want Kyler Murray, you're really selling yourself out, because Nick Bosa is a can't-miss prospect. Quentin Williams is a can't-miss prospect. You got to make sure, like Kyler Murray, there is some risk.
Yeah, no,
so
definitely.
You need to make sure he is that guy. If not, then Cliff Kingsbury is not going to last long. And again, you're bringing in Cliff Kingsbury, who I like, who we both like.
Yes.
Are we sure he's the right guy to make this pick?
I think at this point, you look at a guy, and don't get me wrong, I think Kingsbury could work with a lot of different quarterbacks. He's not limited to just a mobile quarterback.
No, I don't believe so either.
But what people are confusing here with Kyler Murray is most of his success was as a pocket passer in college. As much as people want to lean, Murray's going to go out there and do a lot of different things, but he can make those throws just like Josh Rosen can. And that's what people are missing out on. I think with Kyler Murray, he immediately helps out with those offensive line struggles. He can move around. He's athletic. He's not going to get completely destroyed like a Josh Rosen, who is victim to whatever his offensive line is. And
I feel like you need to repair that offensive line somehow, because let's say you do draft Kyler Murray Thursday, the same result's going to happen to him if you don't fix that offensive line. He's going to get killed.
He's just slightly has a little bit better chance of surviving.
He's more mobile for sure.
Yeah, I think with Kingsbury, he seems to really lean on the guys he falls in love with. We've seen how much he's talked about the guys he had in college when they went to the league and how much he was a fan. We heard him talk about Kyler Murray before he became the head coach for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he said he was the best high school prospect he's ever seen.
That's it. That's all it takes. No matter what, because at this point, Josh Rosen, he continues to say that he called the situation annoying the other day. He's handling it great, but this relationship, it's already damaged. It is what it is.
It's awkward for sure.
It's like when you find your girl texting some dude on their phone.
Yeah, no,
that's exactly what it is. But you don't say anything, but you're like, all right, like it happened. What does it mean? Well, you know what it means? They ain't interested in you that much. They're bored.
Do you think there's a chance Arizona trades the pick?
No, I think it's Kyler Murray. I'm gonna say 99.9.
I'm going to say I'm 80% sure it's
The
Kyler
only
Murray.
thing I think that can stop Kyler Murray is if they find out something about him in the next, 48 hours, that completely reshapes the conversation.
Yeah.
Something out of nowhere. It's just they've leaned too much at this point on this side, and I think with Kyler Murray, I'm a huge fan of Kyler Murray. You know how I've been about it. I think he's going to come to the Cardinals. I don't know if he'll transform him year one, but I think you're going to see a significant change compared to what Josh Rosen was the year before. But I think part of it will be other talent added in the draft.
They need to, for sure. They need to redevelop a lot of their skill positions, a lot of their interior linemen. They have a lot of work to do. It just doesn't stop with Kyler Murray.
I think this is a pretty easy one. Number 2, Nick Bosa.
Yep, Nick Bosa, arguably the best player in the draft defensively and all around. He could probably be better than his brother Joey, who's out there in LA right now. Bosa obviously shut it down for Ohio State, got an injury and refused to come back, and that has not shied away.
No, not
he's
at
going to
all.
go second overall to San Francisco, and the 49ers really going to put him alongside D Ford, and
You have
it's a scary 1-2 combination defensively.
Yeah, the 49ers, I like the way they're kind of loading up with talent at this point. Coming off last year, they lost Jimmy. This might end up being beneficial for them in the long run. You get Nick Bosa. A lot of people project him. He's going to be one of the best pass rushers in the league almost immediately.
Yeah.
I think with Bosa, the weird character issues that have been coming out, he deleted his Twitter,
Yeah,
right?
he's weird. He's weird.
There's very...
Yeah, he's weird.
But so was Joey Bosa. Remember
Yeah.
the whole contract
Well, the
situation?
whole family...
They're very involved.
Yeah. Remember, Joey Bosa was... He didn't sign his contract till July, his rookie year. He held out the longest. I think like his dad's his agent or something stupid like that. Like
it's just one of those
it's
situations. I think Bosa will get to the 49ers, though. I think he's going to be an immediate impact player. Number 3, I got Josh Allen going to the Jets.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah, do you have Josh Allen going as well?
do.
I like Williams, but he's not the edge rusher I think the Jets were looking for. We saw what happened with the Anthony Barr situation.
Yep.
I think Josh Allen is the kind of answer to that for them, and they lean that way.
I do
Even though
too.
I think Williams is the better
I
player.
think they see Josh Allen and they see Khalil Mack.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the hope, and I think this is really going to help shore up that Jets defense. Again, you just said they lost Anthony Barr. He ended up staying in Minnesota. So the Jets add a good pass rusher, somebody that can get to the quarterback, and somebody that can make Tom Brady's life miserable and the rest of the AFC miserable.
Yes. All right.
And Greg Williams is going to love him defensively. You can move him
Without
around
a
at
doubt.
the end, linebacker. You can do whatever you want with him.
Extremely versatile. Okay, we're going to take a small break here. We're still got 4 through 10 to talk about, and then we still got basketball. Listen to Jason Pombo talk his Celtics for a bit. But Ben Brophy, the producer, will be back after this. So you're going to want to stay tuned as he plays some fire audio clips. We'll catch y'all in a few.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.
All right, Pombo and Milliken, we're back.
Yes.
Where were we? We have producer Ben back. That's why the stuff sounds good. We got clips playing. We don't sound unprofessional.
So do you like that last year's clip, Sony Michelle?
Yes, I do like that. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
We'll see.
It's a good pick. It's a
See
good
if
pick.
you have another moment like that this year.
I don't...
No, there's no one you like that much. Okay, let's get to
there's one, but I don't want him in the first round, so
Okay.
I won't make that much.
Are we going to save that for later?
Yeah, we'll save it for later.
Okay. So, number 4, we got the Oakland Raiders. I have them taking Quinnen Williams out of Alabama, the
I
defensive
disagree. I have Devin White, linebacker, LSU. That's
Do
a
you
little bit of a
really?
surprise, yes. I think Mayock and Gruden are going to like Devin White's versatility. I think they're going to move him around. I think Devin White is one of the most talented, one of the most athletic people in this draft. You can move him all over the field. He can play 3 downs. He's a 3-down linebacker. He's a guy you can build your defense around, and I think they're going to elect to pass on Quinnen Williams for Devin White.
I'm going to go Williams. Williams is rated amongst most people as the best overall player in the draft, just solely from how good he is as a DT. I think the Raiders are in a position where they really can't be going for more fit and players they like. They've talked about a surprising move. I still think you got to fall back into what the best player in the draft is. I think they're attempting to throw smoke screens, hoping that Kyler Murray falls to them and they can reinvent this franchise that way. I don't think they'll get that chance. I think they go Quinnen Williams there at 4. At 5, we have the Bucs. Who you got?
I got Quinnen Williams.
Oh, there you go.
A guy from Alabama. Again, people say he's the best player in the draft. It's hard to disagree with that. He's going to fit on the Buccaneers' front 7. He's going to really... He can be Aaron Donald. That is his ceiling. Will he be Aaron Donald? I'm not sure, but he certainly has the ability. He has the size. He has the athleticism. He can play 4-3, 3-4. You can do anything you want with him. Quinnen Williams is an absolute player, and it could be the end of Gerald McCoy in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm going to switch 5. I got Devin White myself. I think he's going to take Quan Alexander's place on that team. I think he immediately moves in there. I think Devin White, you compare him to a guy like Devin Bush, he has the coverage ability. He's versatile. You just talked about it. He can play every down. I think Devin White fits in a little bit better there. I can't imagine the Raiders going past Quentin Williams. I think he's too good of a player to let go by. I think Devin White fits the Bucs a little bit better, and they can kind of get back to what they were shooting for just a few years back. Number 6, we got the Giants.
Yes, I'm going to go with Rashawn Gary, defensive end out of Michigan. I think they elect to pass on Haskins here, and they go with a defensive player here who arguably the best player in the Big Ten. Gary, again, he can line up 4-3 and 3-4. He's a good pass rusher. He kind of reminds me he can be Jason Pierre-Paul, and I think Dave Gettleman, the GM there, is really going to like him. I think he's a safe pick, and he's someone that the franchise is going to be okay to select 6th overall. I think they do not go quarterback here.
Yeah, 6th overall. I think they still go Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins, I know there's been some talk. He went to the Broncos meeting. He was wearing a retro John Elway jersey. But, just along with that, the day after or a couple days after he met with the Giants, he was wearing a Giants sweater while working out. I think Haskins, I don't think it's really much up for a debate. He's the best pure passer in this draft. I think you're getting a guy who needs a little bit of time to sit behind someone. Obviously didn't have a very long college career, but when he did, he played in the big moments. He didn't panic. The footwork is amazing. We've seen how much that benefited Eli Manning over the years. Some of his best moments were because of his footwork alone. I think Haskins, you can't pass on a quarterback or this franchise starts to look even worse. And if you're hoping for Daniel Jones at 17, I think it's too risky to sit there and wait for him.
So again, this doesn't have to do with trades, these mock drafts, but I think there could be a trade there.
I agree. I think there is a chance a team moves up there and then that conversation changes. But for now, I still think Haskins, he's too good of a fit with the Giants.
So number 7, we have the Jaguars. I think they're going to take the offensive tackle from Florida, Jawan Taylor.
Protect Nick Foles.
Yep, protect Nick Foles. That Jaguars offensive line got Blake Bortles absolutely destroyed last year. They need to bolster that offensive line. Taylor is arguably the best tackle in this draft, and he was a 3-year starter at Florida, and I think they're going to roll with him. Jawan Taylor.
Number 7, I have TJ Hawkinson. I think you look at Nick Foles. Yeah, I think you look at Nick Foles' success. A lot of it was with a guy like Zach Ertz over in Philly, someone who could lean that security blanket. We know Nick Foles isn't going to throw the ball down the field. He needs a security blanket. The Jaguars really don't have that at the moment. I think TJ Hawkinson's that guy. He can block, helps with the Leonard Fournette situation within itself. Then you still have the best wide receiving tight end in this draft. Best of both worlds. I think Hawkinson's a perfect fit.
All right, now we're on number 8 overall for the Detroit Lions. A lot of people have Hawkinson here. I'm going to go with the defensive end, outside linebacker out of Mississippi State, Montez Sweat.
Wow, same spot right there.
Is that who you had too?
Yes, me too.
So Montez Sweat here, he could fall really bad. He has a heart condition, and teams are scared of him.
Really pushed people back a couple months ago, but now it seems like checked out. Everything's on the right side.
So this kid can be an absolute force defensively. I think Matt Patricia is going to love him. You're going to pair him with Trey Flowers, and Detroit is going to have something cooking defensively.
You immediately
in that front 7.
Yeah, you immediately start to build something that resembles what the Patriots game plan for over and hope to make over and over again. This amount of talent, I don't think they were able to create on their own.
There's a lot of room for. I mean, this pick could flop, but it could really pan out, and I think Matt Patricia is willing to gamble here.
And then they can build that team around the D-line, and we've seen it. Matt Stafford's obviously not the piece to build around here. Matt Patricia can take what he learned in New England and kind of carry it over. Number 9, the Buffalo Bills.
All right, I'm going to go with defensive tackle at Houston, Ed Oliver.
Me too.
That's
I swear to God, Jesus. Look at my list.
So Ed Oliver, he's the second best defensive tackle in this draft.
A freak.
Behind Quentin Williams. Yes, he's an absolute freak. I think Buffalo, they need to bolster that front 7. They need to kind of replace a guy who they used to have, Kyle Williams, and I think Ed Oliver is going to be that guy. Oliver could get in the top 5, but I think he's going to end up number 9 at Buffalo.
Yeah, I think a lot of people look at Ed Oliver, stats definitely stuck out, but at Houston, he was truly running it by himself. That entire defense was based around him. I think Ed Oliver, he's going to be positioned a little bit better if he goes to the Buffalo Bills. We've seen how that team built around defense in past year. They've tried guy after guy, either through trade and through the draft, to fill that line. I think Ed Oliver is someone who can step in. As long as he's focused and good to go, you're going to see that athleticism just shine through on a regular basis.
Number 10, I'm going to go with a linebacker out of Michigan here, Devin Bush.
Same here, Jason. Look at my computer.
Jesus. You see this, Brophy?
You guys are making for the most boring episode of P&M.
Sorry.
I want to see a fist fight in Studio A.
Wait till we get to Blake Swihart. No, so with Devin Bush, played in a 3-4 scheme. Vingio's the head coach over there. I think he's going to stick to his strengths here. Ball hawking middle linebacker. Swallowed up by the run sometimes. I think that's the difference between him and Devin White, and that's just the undersized issue. But Vingio went over, got Roquan Smith with the Bears before. We've seen how he's he's gone towards linebackers time and time again. I think Devin Bush is just the next one in that line.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be with Von Miller, and he's going to obviously they drafted Chubb last year, and I think they're going to keep building that defensively.
Yeah.
You want to keep going, or you want to stop at 10?
Honestly,
Want to go to 15?
We got 8 minutes. Let's switch to basketball. Let's do a little preview of the Celtics real quick before we get in, and then we can go into the other playoff series before. You like that idea?
Yeah.
All right. Your boy, the Celtics.
Celtics won, yes.
Swept the Pacers without a single issue. Couple different people were the stars of this series. Kyrie Irving in the closing moments. Gordon Hayward in the closing moments.
Gordon Hayward was the star in this series. He was awesome.
Okay, so you look at the Celtics right now. Is Gordon Hayward, if you were to put it on a 0% scale to a 100% scale, where would you put him at in terms of readiness?
I think he's pretty close. You
think he's at 80, 90?
Probably in the 80-90 range, yeah.
Okay.
Hayward was awesome in the series. Defensively,
that and one he had
he was getting to the rim. He wasn't afraid to drive to the hoop. Hayward looked great. He was good defensively, and I think they should insert Hayward in the starting lineup.
You think that quick? They had, 49 points off the bench or something like that in Game 4?
So here's why. So, obviously when you're dealing with Giannis, you need multiple guys to cover him in terms of like rotations and turning of switches, all that kind of stuff. So I don't think you need to start Aaron Baines. I think Horford can handle Brook Lopez. So I would start, if I were Brad Stevens, I would go Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford. That's what I would go with the starting five.
Yeah, I think you look at where the Celtics are with that starting five right now. Jaylen Brown is somehow filling that Marcus Smart role and doing an amazing job of it, bringing that toughness and making shots with a limited selection, but still doing it pretty regularly.
Because this gives you the ability to put forward between Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Hayward. In terms of switches, they all can cover Giannis.
And I think you look at Brook Lopez over there with the Bucks. He's going to be a huge liability on defense, extreme liability. It's not going to take a lot to keep him covered, keep him out of the game. I think he'll be someone they can kind of push out real quick. That starting five, just everyone can put the ball in the basket. That's such a scary situation. I think the Celtics team is rounding into who they wanted to be, who they hope to be all year long. We actually have a little bit of a quote. Brophy, did you take it off It's right there. Let's play this quote by Kyrie after sweeping the Pacers.
Gary Walsh from Boston Globe. It seemed like it was kind of the opposite of normal teams. When the playoffs hit, it seemed like there's some pressure taken off you guys, and it just seems like you guys are more looser, more together. Do you sense that? Do you sense kind of a collective effort, the togetherness you've been looking for all season?
Yeah, there's a goal at hand. There's another level you have to take your game to, the mentality, obviously the IQ standpoint. But I just think that from a preparation standpoint of preparing for one team has given us a benefit. It's given us just an identity going out and just executing a certain game plan. And this was our first test against the Pacers.
That's from ESPN. Thank you, Jason. I forgot that quick. Just looking over. Just hearing Kyrie talk like that, he had brought up a different teammate to the presser every other game, kind of went up this time and just talked, let everyone know what was going on. This is the first time I've seen Kyrie, and I felt like he's been content with where he's at. Yeah, no, he's certainly on the court, he was comfortable. Off the court, he was comfortable. Everyone fell in line. No, that was the big thing. That's what the series said to me. Everything worked out great. In the fourth quarter, the Celtics were awesome in all four games, able to take a lead and keep a lead in 3 of the 4 games in the fourth quarter. Winning in Indiana, granted it's without Victor Oladipo, but it's still a tough place to play. You're dealing with multiple different guys who do multiple different things in terms of Sabonis, Miles Turner, those guys. They're all good players. I think the only thing with the Pacers, I don't know if you noticed this, I felt like they missed so many open shots. That's what happens when you don't have a guy like Oladipo there. The Celtics defense played great. No, I agree with you there, and the effort's always a big thing. We know with Kyrie, Kyrie can play defense. That's kind of been his thing this year. He's actually stepping it up on that side of the game. It's just the effort overall. We've seen Jason Tatum come alive on the offensive side of the ball. Jaylen Brown, Game 4 was awesome. Exactly. Bringing energy. I don't know how you feel about Jaylen Brown with his little sweeping on the they swept him, so I'm not going to not bad. But I was scared when he was. I just didn't like it. I was like, if they, something pulls out here, because the Pacers, they kept making shots. Yeah, man. For no reason at the end of the game. 3 threes at the end. For no reason, just to stretch the game out for a couple more minutes. But at this point, I know a lot of people sat and doubted the Celtics all year long. It's hard not to be in love with them going into this Bucks series. Obviously, they don't have home court. That could certainly be a factor. Milwaukee's without Brogdon, at least for a week. Not sure when he's going to come back. Celtics are without Marcus Smart. He ran on the treadmill, he was on the treadmill. No timetable. Yeah, I'd probably say another 2 weeks. Exactly. But so again, it's like a trade-off between Brogdon and Smart. So we're without a guard, and they're without a guard. So hopefully the Celtics are going to be able to retain Giannis the best way they can.
I think Semi Ojeleye is going to play a factor. He's usually on Giannis
Some of those
a lot.
threes.
Yes, some of those threes. He doesn't shoot.
Now, all right, so if we go and look at Giannis, where he is right now, we saw last time, Scary Terry, was his coming out party, everything like that.
Drew Bledsoe,
Yes.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Do you think Giannis is able to come out this time and prove, he could be a superstar night in, night out in a playoff series like that?
He's always had success in the playoffs. I think he averaged in the regular season against the Celtics 31 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. He has great numbers, but they're going to let Giannis have his shots, but if they're going to stop everybody around Giannis, they're going to let Giannis have his 35, 40 points or whatever he gets. But if they can stop guys like Brogdon, guys like Chris Middleton, guys like Mirotic, guys like Brook Lopez, they're in good position.
In terms of the coaching from Brad Stevens, do you feel like this is a coaching mismatch at all? Because I feel, honestly, it's pretty even.
It's close. Budenholzer is a good coach. He was great in Atlanta. He certainly lifted that Milwaukee team. Again, the best regular season record in the NBA. Impressive feat for sure. Budenholzer is a good coach. No titles, but he's a good coach. I'd rather have Stevens, but Budenholzer's up there for sure.
Should we save our predictions for when we come back?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. If you guys want to hear what we think is going to happen in the Celtics and Bucks series, you're going to want to stay tuned. We have live sports, news, and hopefully music if everyone shows up.
Definitely have music.
Yes. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll catch you all in a bit.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.
Palm guy,
Milliman.
we're back. Shout out you, Nate O'Shan. Does he have class during our show?
No,
he just
he's
chooses
busy
not
right
to
now.
come.
He's got a prior commitment.
Thank you, Nate. Bernie the Kid came.
Burnett came, yes.
Y'all can catch him on Thursday's show. Nate won't
Or
be at
tomorrow. Or tomorrow you'll catch Burnett.
Oh, yes, The Wiggle at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
Him and Dylan Saraiva.
1 to 4.
Hey, Matt's alive.
Oh.
That's alive, yes.
I know.
He
The last
survived the
week.
plague.
He has a voice now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we were just talking Celtics.
Yes.
We're actually kind of putting a little bit of a focus on Jaylen Brown making up for Marcus Smart's absence.
Yes.
His trade stock as it rides in this playoff series, how much do you think he can get up to in terms of a trade back? We're obviously looking, Anthony Davis rumors are flying left and right.
So I think it really depends on what you're going to get back. I don't know if he can be the center of a package, but
Do you think he has the ability to play up into that?
he could
during
be,
this-
yeah. He could be if he continues to develop within the next playoff series, continues to score at a high rate.
It's just, I feel like one moment I see so much maturity and then the next is
Yeah, I
completely
agree.
gone.
I'm not a Jaylen Brown guy. You know that.
Yeah.
I've always been, I'm not going to say anti-Jaylen Brown, but I've always been a doubter of Jaylen Brown. A lot of people compared him to Kawhi Leonard at the beginning, and I didn't see that. A lot of people would prefer him over Tatum. I would not.
No. Tatum, I think this series alone has shown whether, I think part of it, people want to look at his stats for the season, the regular season itself. It's just the ball can only go so many places. And unfortunately, when you're 20, 21, and going throughout the season, you're going to be the last guy who usually gets the hit on the ball of the vets.
Jaylen Brown, he's in an odd spot here. This is his third year in the NBA. This was his third year in the NBA. He had to really take a step back. There was a log jam at his position. Tatum, in my opinion, is better than him. Hayward, obviously coming back. Marcus Morris in front of him.
Marcus Morris is turning back into what he was the first few months of the season.
So he had to deal with a log jam at that position, of that terms of being a wing. And he's clashed with Kyrie Irving. He's clashed with Marcus Morris. He's clashed with Marcus Smart. And he's at a point where he's like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to play basketball. And I think that's been beneficial for him.
Yeah, the reason...
He's not worrying about the other things. He's just playing his game, which is good.
I think he's just a guy who needs the minutes. Jaylen Brown is someone who goes out there. He's a raw player. Unfortunately, with the Celtics, he just hasn't had that opportunity. In the playoffs, it gets stretched more. We saw it when he was against LeBron a few
How would he
years
be
back.
if he was a starter and he played 35 minutes a night? I'm not sure.
I think he'd probably be something close to a 15-point per game guy.
Yeah,
probably
probably.
defense is an attribute that sticks out
So
the most
this
for
year
him.
he averaged 13 points a game.
Yeah.
The year before, last year, he averaged 14 and a half.
Yeah,
And his minutes dropped last year.
What was
He
he at?
averaged 31 minutes a game. This year he averaged about 26.
yeah.
a
So
game.
I don't know. It depends. He's not going to be he's not going to be a top tier option wherever he goes. He'll probably be 3 at best. If you're building around a young team and you're hoping he can flourish. I think he'll always be in that 15, 16, 17 point range. I can't picture him becoming a good enough shooter to get to that.
And I think the biggest stat of all is last year he started 70 games. This year he only started 25.
And exactly. There's a reason the Celtics have leaned towards the guys they've leaned towards.
Yeah.
We see Tatum. There's a reason everyone's Tatum obsessed just like that again. It's pretty crazy.
I've always been with Tatum.
Yeah. It's hard.
He's been inconsistent. He's
Yeah.
going through growing pains per se. It's really not his fault.
He's 21.
He's 21. He's playing with guys above his head: Kyrie Irving, Al Horford, Gordon Hayward. He's playing with experienced veterans. He doesn't he doesn't really know what he's doing yet.
No.
He's finally filling out in terms of his body. He's getting better defensively. Offensively, he's still the guy that we all saw in college and all saw in his first year. Jason Tatum is legit.
No fear of the final moment. He'll go up there. He'll go up for a dunk. He'll shoot. It doesn't matter to him. And I think it goes to show Kyrie leaning to him throughout the series, especially a little bit earlier. They have full faith in him. There's no panic. There's no, can this guy make the shot? They see him as a guy who's at that respect level with Kyrie, with Gordon Hayward, with Al Horford. He's considered in that big. In our reality, it's a big four now.
You could argue he's the second or third most valuable player of this team.
I 100% agree. And I think when push comes to shove, it will be closer to the Kyrie and Jason Tatum show than it would be the Kyrie and Gordon Hayward show. I think that's just what's going to end up happening. So let's go. How far can this team go? We have them going up against the Bucks now.
Yep, and
both sweeps in their series first round.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Celtics are going to beat Milwaukee in 7. I think it's going to be a really tough series. It's going to come down to the wire.
I haven't made a decision yet.
You haven't made a decision yet?
You know what? Ben Brophy, you're saying we agree on too much here.
Go with the Bucks.
I'm going to go with the Bucks. Third on offense throughout the year, first on defense. I think Giannis comes into the series. I think this is where he goes out and he explodes. He becomes the face of this league in a different way. I think KD, obviously best player, doing his thing. Yep. At least in terms of the Eastern Conference, this is the guy who's going to come take grip. He's going to finally show why he's been in the conversation for best player in the world.
I'm not going to say I'm concerned, but I'm curious how Milwaukee's going to deal with adversity. They haven't dealt with adversity in a very, very, very long term.
I believe they only lost back-to-back games one time this year.
So I think in the playoff series, very unexperienced in terms of winning a playoff series. Giannis, that was their first playoff series victory since 2001. How are they going to build off it? How is Mike Budenholzer going to stop Kyrie Irving? How is he going to stop Jason Tatum?
I think Eric Bledsoe finding his footing once again. I think that's a key component to this equation. How that will match up in this series, it's different. It's going to be a lot different than it was a year ago.
It's going to come down to health. I think if Marcus Smart can come back later in the series and make a difference, he could be the difference maker to push him over the top.
What do you think the percentage chance of Smart? I don't think he makes it back for this series unless it gets to Game 7.
I think he's going to be back by Game 6 or 7.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. I think that's going to kill Smart to just sit there and maybe, let's say they're down 3-2 in a Game 6. I don't think there's any chance he sits out.
It's tough. It's such a. I could see him pushing. You know what? I bet he does come back and play in the game. I don't think he's effective at that point. I think this injury is going to end up taking him out just too much. For a guy who's all motor like Marcus Smart, that's a part of your body you just can't lose. I think that'll be the issue, and I think they're going to have to continue to lean Jaylen Brown, and I think this series is going to speak a lot to Jaylen Brown because athleticism-wise, we know how Milwaukee plays. It's a lot of athleticism that kind of overwhelm you with a guy like Giannis. Yep. I think Jaylen, they're going to keep going to their different options. Milwaukee plays great defense. It's going to have to be guys who haven't gone out and pulled their own wagon this year. Jaylen Brown is one of those guys. It's going to be other names that pop up. And obviously it'll be Kyrie in clutch time, but throughout the rest of the game,
I think it's going to come down to holding Milwaukee to close to less than 100 points or 105, to say the least. Mm-hmm. Giannis, like I mentioned before, he's going to get his buckets. They're going to let him have his buckets.
You can't stop him.
The best you can do is let him take a jump shot.
Make him take those shots.
At that point, it's house money. But if you can stop Middleton, Brook Lopez, Mirotic, you could be fine here. I think Terry Rozier is going to become effective in this series when he plays off the bench.
He's angry.
Yep. And I think Tatum's going to have a good series. I don't really know who the Celtics are going to put to start on Giannis, but I think they're going to rotate guys left and right.
They're going to have to because, in general, with Giannis, the guy's motor doesn't stop. It could be the last man in the game, and he's still coming full force. So you're going to need a collection there of guys mixing back and forth.
It's going to be a great series. I think it's going to be the best series of the postseason.
And you have it 7, you said?
Yeah, it's definitely going 7.
You think it comes down to the very end, that last?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be right down to the wire.
I think, I don't know. 1 minute, I'm like, I want to go it feels right to go the Celtics team because they're peaking at the right time.
It just feels like they're riding the momentum here. I don't know what Milwaukee played a Detroit Pistons team had no business being in the playoffs.
Blake Griffin didn't come back to Game 3.
Yeah, Blake Griffin, he played his ass off
with
the last 2 games.
With the cast on his leg.
He literally he left it all on the line. All on the line, but his team sucks. Mm-hmm. Detroit had nothing, and Milwaukee could have they just rolled over them. That wasn't a test.
But I think a lot of people say the same thing with the Pacers. They didn't have Victor Oladipo.
I just think the Pacers are a better team than Detroit.
Slightly. They're probably a better coach team. They're a lot better fundamentally.
I just think Detroit sucks.
Yeah,
other than Blake Griffin. Yeah.
Look at how they built their team. Come on.
Andre Drummond has regressed so much.
What was this
Luke
mindset?
Kennard has not developed. Reggie Jackson has not developed. Ish Smith has not developed. Oh my gosh, Detroit is in trouble.
They saw the way everyone else was building their team, and they said, "Let's go the opposite way." Well, Detroit.
Griffin looks like he's worth
looked
it.
better than he did with the Clippers.
Yeah, Griffin's been awesome, but other than that, they were bad,
No,
man.
I agree. I think with the Pacers, I think the Celtics played a fundamentally strong team, and that was probably what was best for them. But I think facing a force like Giannis, someone they can't stop, is a challenge they've struggled with all season, and I think that's going to be what shines through in this series.
I think Stevens is going to really have to outcoach Budenholzer, and I think he's
That's
ready
what
to
it'll
do
come
it.
down to.
I think he's ready to do it. I think there's a way he can kind of formulate a game plan and a scheme that can let Giannis have his, but just stop everybody else. And I think that's what it's come down to.
Who's the star player for the Celtics in this series? Who shines
I'm going to
through?
go Hayward again.
You're going to go Gordon Hayward?
I think Hayward's going to keep going on the upswing. I think Kyrie's going to do what Kyrie does, but that's what we expect. So
How
I
many
think
starts do you think he gets in this series?
I think Hayward's going to start from game one.
Okay, interesting. No, I agree with you there.
And if he doesn't, then I think they're going to give Marcus Morris the nod.
I like Marcus Morris a lot, but you see Gordon Hayward, he just elevates his team to a different level. It's something they waited for 2 years, 2 full seasons now.
And it's sad how it obviously ended last year, but he's finally getting more comfortable. He's finally driving to the net. He's showing
He'll
passion.
land on his leg.
He's getting animated. Like, he's the Gordon Hayward of old, or at least pretty close to it defensively. He was a great two-way player before he got hurt.
One of the best in the league.
Yeah, he was an all-star. Everyone forgets. In Utah in the West, obviously the West is a lot more talented than the East when it comes to all-stars, and he was right there. He was great in the series against Indiana, and I expect him to pick it right back off. His minutes have slowly increased each game.
Gosh, if these Celtics win, I'm never going to hear the end of it.
I hope so.
I hope for your sake. So if they do say they keep moving forward, they get to the conference finals here. If they get to the conference finals, whether it's Philly which I don't think, I think it's going to be Toronto.
Me too.
I think Toronto.
I think Toronto's a better team than Milwaukee.
Do you really a more complete team in terms
I think
of depth?
As a Celtics fan, I would rather play Milwaukee than Toronto. Toronto scares me a lot more than Milwaukee.
The only thing I like about Milwaukee is just how
Toronto can defend. They're versatile. They're athletic.
But let's be real, Milwaukee's a better defensive team than Toronto. It's hard to take away from that. They were the number one team.
Saying.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. Yeah, Toronto is more versatile. They're more athletic. They're longer. Kawhi Leonard's awesome. He's been playing so good in so many aspects of his game. Toronto's a tough place to play. The Celtics have always struggled in Toronto.
Well, we've seen with Kawhi, he had time management all season long, and now it's paying off. He's out there,
Toronto
he's bursting.
Scares me. Yeah.
Kawhi's shining through, and a lot of people may have taken, his stock down over the year because, he's taking games off, so you're not in the MVP talks. But coming out in this series, he looks just like the Kawhi that dominated.
Yeah, I think Toronto's a better team than Milwaukee. I really do. I don't think Milwaukee is. I think they're a great team.
I think they're the best well-rounded team in the Eastern Conference.
I think Toronto's more well-rounded than them. I really do.
After Kawhi, I have a really hard time because those are the baby Raptors after Kawhi. You know what I mean?
So you still have that feeling where they could just choke.
I do.
It could be, yeah.
And it's hard for me to lose it. Kawhi may go out there, but it's not a one-man show. He can't do it all himself. We've seen that in the playoffs. It can't be one guy all the time. And I think if Toronto
that
makes
bench is pretty deep. Kyle Lowry, inconsistent, but he can still get it done.
But inconsistent.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the inconsistency comes in the worst moments for Kyle Lowry every single time.
I think they're going to beat Philly probably in 5 or 6.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think they're a little bit of a dumpster fire right now.
Embiid seems like he's hanging on by the string in terms of health. Ben Simmons, his inconsistency continues.
Okay, so actually that's a really good segue, Jason. So this conversation is developed after Ben Simmons, what was it, game 3 that he played without Joel Embiid, or was it where he put up 32?
Oh, I think that was 2.
Was it game 2? I think it was game 2. I think you're right. Can't remember off the top of my head. But this, Ben Simmons going out there playing out of his mind after a very rough game 1.
Really rough.
Yeah, one of his worst. Second worst, actually.
After the one against the Celtics last year, yeah.
Where he got completely his life ruined.
2 points?
That's when the memes started. But now there's a real debate: Ben Simmons versus Joel Embiid.
I'll take Embiid.
What easy? Is it not even a conversation?
Not a conversation.
No, I agree with you there.
That was game 3, by the way.
Game 3. Thank you, Jay. The only thing with Embiid that continues to push me off is the health.
Yeah, the health is one thing for sure. But when healthy, Joel Embiid is a force. He's the best center in the NBA. He's great defensively. He'll hit you in the mouth,
though, and I think that's the thing that scares me a little bit continuously. But the issue is you're looking at Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. I think they're a 2 and a 3, and unfortunately Jimmy Butler's not a 1. He's a 2.
Butler's not staying there anyway. I'd be shocked.
He's not. He doesn't like anyone there either.
Yeah, and I don't think they like him very much either.
Because oh my God, can you imagine Joel Embiid getting clowned by Jimmy Butler? Embiid would smack this dude on the head and tell him to sit down.
I think Embiid can be Shaq. I really do. I think he's that talented.
I do too. I think
health could get in the way.
I think longevity is going to be the true issue with him.
Yeah.
With Ben Simmons, I truthfully believe he'll never learn to shoot a jump shot.
Yeah, me neither. No, I agree.
He's not willing to. How do you go from being the joke of the playoffs You have a whole offseason, and you still cannot. When he did shoot a 3, we saw earlier in the year, what he pulled up for 1, didn't he? And it was really rough.
He pulled up for 2.
2. It was a deep 2, wasn't it?
2. Yeah, they were actually 2 games in a row.
And he looked so uncomfortable.
He clanked them both.
Yeah. When Dudley's out here, I mess with Dudley.
You like
bro.
Jared Dudley?
Yo.
Well, he did his job. I know everyone's kind of clowning him. But
He had that awful error. He hit the 3 in the next game. Then he wanted all the smoke.
well, his job was to be a little instigator, to piss people off, and it did. He got arguably their second or third best player thrown out of the game. They lost the game, but Brooklyn's a scrappy team. Reminds me of the old Celtics with Isaiah, Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, Tyler Zeller, Kelly Olynyk, those guys.
Yeah.
Brooklyn and the Clippers remind me of those old Celtic teams.
Because they feel like, they're
They're a star or 2 away from really.
Exactly. They're playing off a lot of just fundamental good
Yeah.
basketball emotion.
Oh, yeah.
You add those pieces in, obviously changes the game.
They weren't able to complete against Philly, but they were pretty close. They gave Philly a run for their money.
And this is what you have to do when you're a team like Brooklyn. If you don't have the star players, you got to get scrappy. You got to start trying a different approach.
D'Angelo Russell's legit.
Oh,
Spencer
Mr.
Dinwiddie's
Clutch right
legit.
there. Mr.
Like they have
Clutch.
players on that team, and I think they're going to get a star in the offseason, and they're going to be right there again in the East next year as a higher seed.
Okay, let's hit on some of the big stories throughout the playoffs so far. Is Kevin Durant officially the best player in the world?
It looks that way, yeah.
Dude, Kevin Durant, I love Kevin Durant. I love his personality.
He's awesome.
Listen.
Again, he's getting he gets overlooked obviously from LeBron from years past, and I think even now a lot of people would rather say Giannis or James Harden.
People have already forgot about that 3 KD hit,
Yeah.
right? In LeBron's face.
You got to remember he's been the Finals MVP back-to-back years, former NBA MVP,
most efficient player in the
two-time
league.
champion, most efficient player in the league. He can shoot, he can drive at will, he can defend, he can do so many different
no
things.
issue.
He's been awesome. He's changed the game. Kevin Durant's awesome. He's never going to get the due that he deserves.
It's just because of his personality.
His personality
and his career path.
His career path,
Yeah.
but he could alter that this year.
I think he's gonna. As more time passes, Kevin, dude. A lot of people wanted to keep pushing that narrative that he was soft. And don't get me wrong, I think he cared too much about media.
I think you can get in his head.
Yes. No, I think you can get in his head, but I've never seen anyone get in his head and ruin his performance on the court. And that's the game changer.
You've seen that from other stars. Like
you can get in someone's head. That's okay.
Yeah.
But if it pushes you to be the best player on the court, which it's done to Kevin Durant time and time again, because look, Patrick Beverley trying to clown this fool. Shut up, Patrick Beverley.
Yeah.
Sit down. Listen, it's fun. Once a year, it feels like Patrick Beverley gets this storyline about how scrappy and everything he came from.
Was it game 1 or game 2 he had?
Game one, yeah. Listen, Patrick Beverley only goes so far, and that's the unfortunate truth.
He's a good bench guy.
Yes.
He's a good 6th, 7th man.
Great story.
Yeah.
But Kevin Durant,
there's no way to stop Kevin Durant. Like Giannis, you make him shoot jumpers. That's how you stop it.
KD will do it all.
Kevin Durant, he can drive, he can shoot threes. He's one of the most proficient 3-point shooters in the league.
He's matured.
He's 6'11". He's so long. He can defend 5 positions on the court.
Best shooting at that height we've ever seen by a long mile.
Yeah, right up there.
When I've watched KD, just the quotes that are coming out from him at this point, I don't know how you don't like this guy. He truly just doesn't, dude. What people say, whatever they have to say, he's just like screw. He's like,
he's a different.
Who are you talking to?
He's a different kind of cat for sure.
This is what I had always hoped for from LeBron for a long time in terms of that personality trait. Just to be like, all the criticism you hear, do you know who I am?
And it's tough to realize that Kevin Durant, he was in the NBA Finals when he was 22 years old. And he's obviously been overlooked his whole career because he caught the LeBron James era.
Took a beating.
He could never overpass it. And I think it's wrong to put Giannis above him.
No.
And a lot of people are doing that
agree.
now. Yeah.
I think until Giannis goes through the playoff series,
Giannis can't shoot, man.
No.
He can't shoot.
And that's his biggest limitation.
That's a huge flaw.
No,
That's
his little brother
75%
shoots
of the
better
game.
than him. Have you seen his clips?
Giannis is great. He can get to the basket. I mean, who needs to shoot when you can just drive past everybody? But that can only go so far.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's why we've seen that issue reoccur.
Could Giannis end up being better than Durant? Absolutely.
If he learned to shoot.
He's a kid right now. He's 24, 25, 26 years old.
Yeah.
Durant's 31 years old or whatever he is now, 29, 30. And he's at the best of his prime. He's tough to stop.
KD is the villain.
He's very he doesn't break down. He very rarely gets hurt. Durant does what he does what he has to do.
He does, and Durant has the trait. He's one of the most unselfish basketball players I've ever seen. He truly will dish it to Steph. He will truly dish it to anyone on that Clay, whoever it may be, whoever's night, and he doesn't have an issue. Do I think he's the most well-liked guy? No. He's a different kind of guy, and I don't think he really looks at it that way. He obviously draws a very huge distinction between his real life and his basketball
People
life.
argue, and I think Skip Bayless has, he's the most prolific scorer in NBA history.
I agree.
He's led the league in scoring, I think, 4 times?
Yeah. I can 100% understand that. No one can do what KD can do with this little shooting. He'll go out there, shots dramatically lower. Take 6, 7, 8 shots a game, and he'll still go up there and put up the best stat line of the night.
Yeah. He has a long way to go. What he does in the summer, or what he decides to do in the summer, is really going to dictate how he's viewed and how he finishes up his career, because LeBron, in my opinion, at his prime, has 1 to 2 years left, tops.
Yeah,
tops.
I'm going to go 1. I think he has one
it could
more.
Be tops.
Yeah.
So at that point, who's the best player in the world? It's Kevin Durant.
Yes, and KD.
So Durant will probably have that title for the next 3 to 4 years. What's he going to do about it? He's got 2 rings now. He's probably going to end up with 3 by the end of the year.
He sealed his legacy. Golden State.
Can he catch Jordan? Depends where he goes.
Yes. Golden State's great, but he's done everything for his legacy he could have done there. And I truthfully believe that, and that's why I think he has to go.
He has a lot of options. I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed another year at Golden State. I really would.
I don't think that's impossible.
I think
could
that's
see
still
1 year.
on the table. Yeah.
It feels like with the way, the New York Knicks rumors are getting stronger and stronger, even going into the playoff run. I think he's going to end up there. Who with? I don't know. I don't think it's Kyrie. I really don't think it's Kyrie anymore.
I've heard Jimmy Butler is heavily linked there.
They seem like similar personalities. I think Butler's a little more tougher and a little more harder on people, but I think if anyone could work with it. The only issue that pushes me back is Jimmy Butler's personality. Katie hated Russell Westbrook's personality in terms of being on the same team.
Yep.
Not as a friend, but on the court. I think Jimmy Butler at times can have a little bit of that in him, but he also doesn't bring as many negatives as Russell Westbrook is bringing these days.
Yeah. This summer is going to be great in terms of basketball storylines. There's so many of them. A lot of players are going to dictate where they want to go, where they want to finish their career, where they want to enter their prime.
The league can be reshaped if Golden State breaks up.
Yeah, I mean, because Klay Thompson's a free agent as well. With Durant, do they elect to trade Draymond Green in order to get Durant to stay? Who knows?
Without a doubt. Okay, so now that we're talking about KD, let's talk about his old best friend, Russell Westbrook. So we all know Russell Westbrook's contract situation. He's making $40 million over the next 4 years,
something like that. 39 million, maybe 38.
Yes, they're currently down 3-1 to Portland. Damian Lillard has outplayed Russell Westbrook every single night.
Yep.
Does Russell Westbrook have one of the worst contracts in sports right now?
So I wouldn't say the worst contract in sports. I think Russell Westbrook is very overrated. I think he's a stat stuffer.
He boxes out his own guys.
Yeah, exactly. So I've never
back it up, bro.
I've never been a Russell Westbrook guy. I've never had him in my top 5 in the NBA list. But with that being said, I think a guy like that, any team would pay him that.
The conversation ended.
He's still worth as a max player. He still is.
Russell Westbrook sold himself as another Allen Iverson, a better Allen Iverson in terms of, he has the triple doubles and everything. Yeah. But Russell Westbrook sealed his legacy when he chose to stay with Oklahoma City. You chose to be the fan favorite, to be the guy everybody loved. And, at the end of the day, that's great for you.
Right now, he's not even loved.
No. But, if, say, he retires 10 years from now, whatever it may be, he's going to be remembered as the guy who stood around. You know what I mean? Russell, they're very sensitive about Russell, too, at times. As much as he can be a headache for them, they tend to defend him pretty heavy.
He's a star. He's a triple-double machine. I think he's overrated in terms of, I think a lot of his rebounds, he get passes, they're all like I just said. He's
working his stats. Yes,
that's what I get when I watch him. Can he be electric? Can he be?
Yes,
he can get to the rim at will. He's not a great shooter, but he can certainly pass at an efficient rate.
Shooter.
He can get to the rim.
He shot 43% from the field this year.
But he does not have any team would pay him that. I think. I really think.
No, I disagree. I think at this point, I think when he was available for his contract, I think yes. But I think at this point in his career,
it's so many contracts.
The NBA is moving away from him. It is.
They could be.
Look at John Wall.
Yeah, John Wall's in a tough spot. I think Westbrook's
not that different.
I think Westbrook's better than John Wall.
I do, but they're not that different. Will you agree with me there?
Yeah.
Okay. They're guys, the guard who will go consistently to the basket over and over and over. That's just not the NBA right now. If I had to pay
Westbrook a Wall, I think I'd pay Westbrook.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah. John Wall, that contract is looking. Or with his situation, they don't even think he's going to play this upcoming year.
It's very unlikely. Yeah, very unlikely. Yeah.
So, but with Russell Westbrook, the thing is, when he gets on the court, he can be a detriment to other teammates. With some of the threes he's taken in the series, oh my God!
I thought Oklahoma City was going to make a run here because I think Paul George has been an MVP level.
I'm worried
Steven
about
Adams
those
has been
shoulders.
good. Yeah, Paul George's shoulders messed up. I think that's what's really screwing him here.
I think that's what it is, and I think no matter what, as great as Paul George is, Paul George. Russell Westbrook, when he plays, he's playing against Damian Lillard. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I think it shouldn't be like that.
And it feels like Russell Westbrook competes against Paul George. I don't think Paul George ever sees it that way.
No, I don't think so
And I
either.
think that's the difference.
Paul George he had a great year, his career year.
Yes.
He's going to finish top 3 in MVP voting.
But
in
our
reality, that shoulder is messed up.
That's probably the reason he fell out of the MVP conversation itself.
Portland has home court here, and they were able to steal both at home. And they're down 3-1. I think Oklahoma City's going to win Game 5, but I don't know if they're going to win Game 6.
I truthfully believe Damian Lillard is similar. A little, I don't know. No one's as explosive as a guy like Russell Westbrook. I think really the only comp is probably Derrick Rose in that sense. A guy who could get up to the rim like that, dunk, no fear into the lane. His personality, what he chose this road. I don't think anybody should feel bad for the way his career is going. I don't think I think for him, he's going to have regrets never leaving OKC, and that's on you.
I'm curious if Golden State breaks up per se.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say KD goes to the Knicks, Clay goes, I don't know,
insert place,
Miami.
Yeah,
and that there's an open hole in the West. Can Oklahoma City kind of insert themselves as a front runner for that?
I don't think Russell Westbrook will ever be the guy who can lead a team through the playoffs. I truthfully
Paul
don't. This
George,
is going to be
if he has two shoulders?
Not with Russell Westbrook on his team. I think Russell Westbrook will be the detriment consistently. What is it, 5:45? All right, we'll take a little break here. We're coming back. We have a couple more basketball topics to hit on. And then we got some baseball, so you're not going to want to go anywhere.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.
All right, final hour, Pombo and Milliken here. So we had one more basketball topic. We're going to skip it.
All right, so we were basically talking about Derek White.
Yes.
To answer your question, Tyler, I don't think he's the next emerging star, no.
What do you think his potential is if you were to give him a player comp?
I mean, he had like 2 good games this postseason.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. He's a second-year guy.
Everyone immediately thinks
He was picked later in the first round.
29th overall.
Yeah, something like that. He could be a good player.
3 years at a D2 school.
I don't know if he can be a star, though, if that's what you're asking.
I think he'll be another good piece.
He could be a piece, yeah.
He's in a great system with the Spurs.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what it is.
San
Spurs
Antonio's
can turn anyone into a star.
in a weird phase. They have an aging LaMarcus Aldridge, and that's about it.
Yeah. All right, to baseball.
Struggling Red Sox.
Well, they've already taken an L today. We'll see if they take another one. But before the L today, they had swept the Rays.
Yep.
Took 3 games from them. All pretty clutch games.
Yeah.
Red Sox coming through. Mookie with some big
coming back
hits.
in the later innings. I think 2 of the 3.
Yeah, Mitch Moreland and Mookie had the back-to-backs. What was that, the second game?
Yep.
But, Mitch Moreland himself, arguably not one of the best players in baseball this year, but one of the most clutch players in baseball.
Yeah,
he's
right up there.
258, 319, 7 jacks in 21 games.
That's so sad.
Who would have... I know you don't like Mitch Moreland.
I don't like Mitch Moreland.
Why?
No. I don't know.
What's the issue
I don't have an issue with Mitch Moreland, but I don't just think he's that special.
Because in like 3 months he's going to be hitting probably like 240 with 14 home runs.
Yeah.
No.
I just know what his ceiling is. Like, in terms
does
of
this every
other,
year.
like Rafael Devers, the sky is the limit with him. Guys like Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, they can do anything they want.
Mitch Moreland's just a regular player.
I know what Mitch Moreland is. I know what Steve Pearce is. I know what Brock Holt is.
Now, just to put this in perspective, right? And we've talked about Christian Yelich. Everyone knows about Cody Bellinger this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Moreland's win probability for the season ranks 3rd behind Yelich and Cody Bellinger.
That's so sad.
Right? So, in other words, no player in the American League has contributed more to their team's wins.
So does that mean all the offensive stars are struggling, or does that mean Moreland's just been that good?
Moreland's just been that. He has a 258 batting average. He hasn't been that great. But Moreland is swinging at 75% of strike or pitches in the strike zone this year. That's 6% higher, and he's keeping the highest walk rate he had last year, which was the lowest of his career. So I think, honestly, Mitch Moreland, he's kind of forcing it, but I don't think there's going to be much of a platoon for most of the season. I think I'm worried about Steve Pearce. He's hurt.
Yeah, Pearce is
Something's
he's
wrong.
hobbled for sure.
Yeah.
It seems like Moreland's job to pretty much lose.
Yeah. I think Chavis could have the ability, who knows what ends up happening with second base, but I think Chavis could get a lot of reps at first base. But for now, I think Mitch Moreland is kind of his job to run with.
So you call Chavis at second base. You called that.
Should we get into that?
You can talk about it. Yeah, you can take your victory lap.
Mr. Ben Brophy, you want to play the Dustin Pedroia clip real quick?
Kind of rotated on it. The knee kind of popped, so it more kind of scared me than anything. So I saw the doctor yesterday, and could have been a couple of things, but we're just gonna let it calm down for a few days, and then it should be all right.
What does that sound like to you, Jason Pombo?
Dustin Pedroia is old and worn down.
That's what it sounds like to me, too. Listen, for all you delusional Red Sox fans out here who sat all spring training talking all this stupid garbage about how Dustin Pedroia's will overcome his body and he will somehow be the second coming of Jesus Christ, and he will play through any injury or any issue that happens to him. It's not going to happen. He's 35 years old.
His body is just breaking down.
He swung and his knee popped.
Yeah. It was a foul ball, wasn't it?
Huh? Yes.
Yeah.
No. He was out.
Oh,
remember,
you're right. He popped out, right?
Yeah.
He popped out.
He was jogging back, and they saw the grimace on his face.
Yeah.
Listen, this is what Dustin Pedroia is at this point. If I'm being honest, I thought it was a lot worse when it happened.
Me too. I thought he was done.
Yeah.
I thought he was done. I think I guess it was a sigh of relief for him anyway. Yeah.
The truth is, no matter what, he's never going to feel comfortable playing on his knee.
So I think
that's the equation.
We both probably agree this is his last season. Right?
Yes, I don't see a way.
He's going to tough it out for the rest of the year.
I think he
somehow, some way.
I think it's going to be a lot of DL time. I think this DL stint right here is going to be longer than people expect. He said he was going to be back in 10 days. He hasn't started baseball activities yet. So I don't think that. I heard he hit a little bit off of a tee, but he's not really doing much.
He hasn't been contributing at all.
He hit 100.
That's my point.
He hit 100 when he was playing.
Yeah.
He didn't look the same at second base. Every time someone slid into him, he flinched.
Even running out ground balls and all that stuff. Yeah, totally different.
He is not the same player he was. It's sad. It's heartbreaking. Dustin Pedroia is one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah,
we grew up with him.
Yeah, he's right up there.
You know?
For sure. He was right in there with Ortiz, right after the Manny Pedro. He was right there. Yep.
You know, he became one, and even in that 2010, 2012, 2013.
Former MVP, AL Rookie of the Year, All-Star,
multiple Gold Gloves, Silver Slugger. Like, Dustin Pedroia did things. It's crazy to think he was once compared with Robinson Cano. You remember those days?
Yeah.
Now,
at a time, I was like, I think I'll prefer Pedroia.
There was a lot of people who leaned Pedroia. It's very sad at this point where he's at, because he's out there. He's trying to play. Alex Cora said after the injury itself, he looked the saddest he's ever seen.
Cora thought it was bad.
Yeah, and that's
because he just went right home, or he went right back to the hotel room.
That's what it is. No matter what, the knee's not going to get better. Yeah. He's going to have the knee's going to pop at times. He's going to have issues. That means he's a liability in the field, and he's a liability running the base pass.
It's sad.
He can hit the ball. Does someone else want to run for him?
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I think even, you heard in that quote, he didn't sound confident.
No.
It's a completely different Pedroia. They said...
he was very honest in that quote.
Yeah. So he said during this stint, right, the reason it popped partially was because the box itself, the batter's box. He said it wasn't great. But he had a brace around his knee that wrapped both ways.
Yes.
Now he said they're looking into braces that wrap one way. Listen,
I don't know the difference. I've never worn a knee brace in my life, so I don't know.
But my guess is if your knee's popping in any brace pretty regularly,
it's probably not a good sign.
No. So
not a knee expert. You a knee expert, Ben Brophy?
I've had a few knee issues as a goalie, but nothing crazy.
Have you worn a knee brace before?
I never. Yes. So I've worn, not like the giant one though.
Okay.
That's the thing. So the giant one is like super stable, and the other ones aren't as stable.
What do we think Pedroia has?
He's probably got.
He has a big brace.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't see it because he's wearing baseball pants.
It's bigger than one like quarterbacks wear, right?
My guess is
like Gronk.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like Gronk has. Okay.
My guess, if it's going both ways, it has to be a pretty big size brace. If it's not just one, and you can see it sometimes through his baseball pants. It's a sad story, but
he reportedly even talked to Jerry Remy and asked how his knees were. Remy's 67 years old. Asked if he had any trouble on certain kinds of floors at his house.
Jerry Remy is known for a career that ended up not going as far as it did because of knee problems.
Yeah, and it makes you believe, does Pedroia see the light at the end of the tunnel? As he knows he's done, and he's worried about his after career a little bit.
He's realizing he can't walk normal. How is he supposed to run, dive, and hit? You can't. It just. Let it go. You have to let it go. I honestly, what
would you do if you were him?
I think he's going to try. I think he'll probably be back probably in 2 weeks.
Would you hang it up like today, or would you try to finish
If I was Dustin Pedroia, I'd retire today.
Would you?
But also, I know how much I love baseball, and I probably wouldn't if I was playing.
Yeah, I think I'd try to tough it out.
It's great to sit there and think, but no matter what, if I was him, and he's always going to think he's going to get better. He truthfully believes he's going to wake up one day and not feel like the old Pedroia. Yeah. And that's just not possible.
It's not the reality.
No, in the Red Sox, they understand it. I don't think anyone was shocked. Nobody was surprised.
No, Cora's been his biggest defender, but I think he even knew coming in anyway.
So, what does Pedroia become? Does he become your DH? No, he got hurt hitting.
Yeah, so
you know what I
mean? That's the issue.
So there's really just not much room for him. He's not a player. He's played second base his whole career. He plays short in college. He'll never play short again. Yep. He could. So what? He's 5'8", 5'9".
I guess you have to DH him, and then if you
don't have that flexibility on this roster.
No, you don't.
And that's the sad truth of it. My guess is Pedroia comes back. There's another issue. Likely gets shut down for the rest of the year. I don't think he plays more than 30 games.
30? What's he at now? Like
6
12?
or 7? Did it get up to 12? Did he even play that many?
I don't know.
Maybe.
He might have hit 10.
He came back April 10th, and he got hurt April 17th. So.
Oh, really? It was that short, huh?
Yeah, dude. It was a lot quicker than people realized.
So it was probably 4 or 5.
So he played 7 games.
7.
He hit Oh, no, that's spring training. Excuse me. He played 6 games.
6
games. He hit 100, 143, 100. No home runs, 1 ribby. That's it. And you know what?
The RBI was a sac fly, I think, or something stupid, or ground and double play.
You want to know what his WAR was during those 6 games? Negative 0.4. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I believe it.
So you multiply that by what? 4? That's 1.6 negative WAR. Negative 1.6 WAR.
Yes.
Is that good math?
Why you multiply by 4 though?
Say he played 16 games.
Oh, okay.
Or
I
no,
gotcha.
24 games.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. In a
Okay.
sample size,
I gotcha.
if you keep extending how bad he was just during that little period,
Yeah, no, I got you.
it's just going to get worse and worse. He's just not a useful asset. But now that led to Michael Chavis coming up.
Yes,
Mike,
Chavis.
Best
Best prospect in the system.
among some
Arguably,
rankings, yeah. I believe it was it? Nah, I don't think Sox Prospects has him first.
They didn't have him first?
It might have been Baseball America.
Really? I
Yeah,
thought Sox
or
Prospects
MLB.
had him 1.
They might have. I could be wrong. I'm trying to think. Maybe they do have him 1. Let's see. So yeah, he is number 1.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Darwin's in number 2. Tristan
Who's
Casas
up today?
Yes, Darwin's coming up as a 26th man on the roster. A lot of people didn't think Michael Chavis was going to be ready to play second base this quick. I wasn't thinking he was going to be ready this
Do you think he has the body type to play second base?
Yeah, I don't think Christian Vasquez played a good second base the other day.
That's true,
You
he
know
did,
what I
he
mean?
did, he did.
Second base is a complex position, but if you played a lot of infield growing up, I don't think it's too crazy. Chavis is going to need help with double plays, but he was failing. He didn't look out of place. That stopgap at second base is going to be really weird this year because you have your other 2 second baseman utility guys, Brock Holt and Eduardo Nunez on the DL, both going through their own things. It looks like Nunez should be back soon. Holt is trying to figure out a contact
Yes,
for his
it's with his eyes. He's been out for a while.
Yeah.
I think next week.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, maybe.
They shut down his rehab, and now he took batting practice at Fenway today.
Zue Lin up.
Yeah, who
He actually hit today. I think he had an RBI double.
personally, I think with Michael Chavis, he would be better served at this point getting more reps at second base in the minors and having Zue Lin man
So you
second
wouldn't
base.
have brought him up now.
I would have waited a little bit.
Yeah, I think he probably needs the reps, especially in AAA, because he's only been in AAA not even a full year.
No.
Only the second half of last year, right?
He came up at the end of last year, and then this year, obviously, he's had a little bit of a burst. But
So what's his ceiling as a prospect or as a player?
a lot of people compare him to Steve Pearce. I've heard that.
As
comp
his
a lot.
ceiling?
Yeah. Okay, as his player comp, what they think he'll become. His ceiling, there's not many guys that are 5'10", and that I guess it would be he has more power than a Dustin Pedroia, right? He could probably hit 25 home runs in the bigs, but the hit tool, it's kind of in that 250, 270 range, I think. I think in terms of someone who will be, I really don't know anyone that fits his profile. If he moves to second base, maybe it would be something closer to a Brian Dozier, small guy, but
Has a
Brian
little bit of
Dozier was a
pop,
great
yeah.
fielder.
And Dozier has a little bit of pop, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was a 30 home run
Yeah.
guy. So maybe Chavis, in terms of a stat line, could put something up like that. But defensively, I think he's going to be below average at second base.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I just don't think he has that much range.
Do you consider him a better defend? I don't want to say defender, but better person on defense than Rafael Devers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Devers can make the plays Chavis can't in terms of.
Devers upsets me defensively so much. Like every play, I'm like, he's got this. Nope.
But you saw the
But then
barehanded play,
then he'll
right?
make a diving play, and I'm like, all right, maybe.
The
but,
double play he turned, right? Yeah.
What's up with? I know it's a little off topic.
Go ahead.
But what's up with his power?
I don't know. It's a weird situation.
Is it because he lost some weight? Lost 15 pounds, didn't he?
I don't think that's it. I think he was swinging for the fences a lot last year, and I think that's why you saw such a low batting average. I think he's just trying to hit high.
I think he has 1 RBI, and
the batting
I don't think
average
he has any home
pretty
runs.
solid.
Yeah, I
though.
know. I was just expecting a little bit of pop.
My guess
Some
is
power.
it will come through in a surge, probably halfway through the year. But he had a similar growth spurt like this in the minors, where when he moved up, he was struggling trying to hit home runs. So he just started hitting like 295 with batting wise. I think he could hit here probably 280, something like that.
And I was reading an article. Do you think Chavis was brought up to put pressure on Devers a little bit?
No, I don't. I think Devers is not even one class above Chavis, but 2.
Yeah.
And Chavis is the number 1 prospect in our system. In a good minor league system, he's probably 5. You know what I mean?
That's so sad.
It's true. Like Chavis, a lot of people see him as a utility guy. I think probably sticks a little bit more thanks to the power in today's game. And I think he has the personality and he's very coachable. I think that's what stands through. I could picture him sitting with the Red Sox for a while. I don't know where he's going to fit. It's a very awkward place. It could be second base down the stretch because they don't trust Nunez or Holt to hold it down long term.
I don't think those are long-term options. Nunez is a free
can't even field. Nunez can't even field.
Yeah. I think it'd be a miracle if Nunez was on the team next year.
My guess is they probably lean Zue Lin for most of the year. Marco Hernandez just started a rehab assignment.
Finally.
I believe he got a hit in his first at bat at single
Good
A.
for him. Good for him. I liked him before he went down.
It's probably he be an end of the year kind of guy. He just needs at bats right now. But I think Chavis, if he grows as a defender and gets good enough, he's kind of that electric spark plug you'd want in a lineup like that. Because you see his personality in those interviews.
Yeah.
He's high energy.
Yeah.
Like they were comparing him. They asked Cora if he was the most high energy player they had ever seen called up as a prospect.
What'd he say?
He said, very high energy, but no one compares to Dustin Pedroia.
That's fair. Pedroia, when he got up there, it was different.
Honestly, I felt like he said that partially for Pedroia's ego.
Felt bad too?
Yep. Because Chavis, listen, even though Chavis played third base today.
And Pedroia's been working with Devers. I don't know if you saw that clip. I think it was, Saturday night?
Yeah, he's a coach.
Yeah.
It's what Dustin Pedroia is. Go coach guy. Hey, he could stay around this team as much as he wants. I do not want him
he'd have
leaving.
that lifetime job Ortiz has with
Exactly.
Yankees with A-Rod. And
it's just you can't play on the field, and it happens to everyone. It's sad it happened to him, but people said this his whole career. He was not built to last. But with Michael Chavis, I think I have a feeling he's going to have a power surge probably middle of the
do you
year.
think he sticks, or do you think they end up sending him back?
I think he probably goes back for a little bit, and we see him again around July.
Yep.
And then that's when we see Michael Chavis
For good.
take over that second base job, at least for the year.
Because in terms of the youth in the system, youth in the organization as a whole, Chavis really, really has to hold it. He's the number one prospect they have. Obviously, Devers has been here for a year or two, but other than Devers, which prospect has been brought up here in the last year and a half?
It's been a while. They drained the system really quick. Before Devers, it was Benintendi.
I was going to say, Benintendi.
And
it feels like he's been here forever, but he really hasn't.
That? Summer 2016?
That's maybe before that.
Or was it 2017? No, it was 2016. It was before college, I think. I could be wrong.
I'll look it up.
But I don't know. My head's a mess. Too many prospects over the years. But yeah, and you look at it, I know some people talked about Bobby Delbick, being another guy who could put pressure on Devers. No.
He got bought up in 2016. He played 34 games.
It was 2016? Yeah, there we go.
The end of 2016.
It's great. Some players like Benintendi come up and they're immediately really solid big leaguers. Devers is one of those guys that's going to take some time to grow.
Yeah, I like Devers. I'm a bigger Devers fan than anybody.
He'll find himself.
I hope so. I really do. Because again, when the Red Sox payroll is getting up and up, what's the story with Betts and J.D. Martinez?
I prefer the bat. I like the fact that he's such a good hitter, pure hitter, though, that he can go out there and hit 270, 280 and still get by. Because even at third base.
I just thought he'd have a little bit more pop now at this point.
My guess is he probably finishes the year with something like 275, 288.
How many home runs?
15 to 20. I think it'll come through in the second half, but not much the first half. But with Devers, being in a different place, are you worried about this Red Sox team still? Do you feel that panic that you felt before the race series?
I'm not panicked for sure. At this point in time, I think they're dealing with a lot of things. In terms of Chris Sale, obviously isn't right. They're 0-5 when he pitches. They're 9-9 when he doesn't.
Struck out 10 today.
Yep, Porcello struggled at times. Eovaldi's obviously going to be sidelined 4 to 6 weeks.
We should probably get into Eovaldi.
Yeah, let's get into Eovaldi right now. So he's out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, that extension is not starting off on a really great note. It's loose bodies. He got removed from his elbow. The surgery was a success. They believe he'll be pitching in 6 weeks. He had the same surgery. Believe he suffered the injury March 28th last year. He came back May 30th or something. Made his first start of the regular season back when he was with the Rays. Fine for the rest of the year, but is this a result of the postseason workload he took? Because he went way over his innings limit last year. I don't think it's that. I think this is just something that you're going to deal with Eovaldi. I think his elbow is fragile. And, 2 Tommy John surgeries. Can you really disagree? I don't know if this is going to be a reoccurring thing every single year, but my guess is Eovaldi probably doesn't make 30 starts too many times for the Red Sox.
Yeah, probably not. At this point, 2 Tommy Johns, like you mentioned previously. This going to sideline him to what do you think, June, July at this
6
point?
weeks, what is it, the end of April? It's going to be at least June, probably July, by the time he goes through a rehab assignment.
So who knows at that point? Do the Red Sox panic? Do they look to trade for an arm? Do they look to sign? Like they had Gio Gonzalez in there, right?
Yeah. I think Gio Gonzalez would be interesting. I don't think it's a must. So you see Hector Velasquez, he's going to go through the rotation twice, they said.
Yes.
Did you like that move? Were you a fan?
I'm okay with Velasquez. I think he gets the job done. you can't depend on him.
4.03 ERA as a starter, I
You
believe.
can't depend on. When's Stephen Wright come back, by the way?
80 games.
That's 80,
yeah.
right? I thought it was 50. All
No,
right, never
so
mind.
we're probably not going to see him till about July.
Okay, never mind.
I wanted Mike Shawaryn to come up, actually, and he didn't have a really good start in AAA the other day, so it doesn't sound great saying it now. But for the Red Sox, they don't have too many starting pitchers in the upper minors. Shawaryn's really the only one.
They have no pitchers in the system.
Shawaryn, God.
When was the last time they had a pitcher in the system?
That people cared about,
Yes.
that came to the bigs.
Was it Buchholz?
I guess you can consider Eduardo Rodriguez. He was in AA, right?
But they traded for him.
Yeah. He got dealt when he was in AA. That came through the system and
Yeah.
people cared about. God,
I think it's Buchholz.
It's probably Buchholz.
Buchholz and Lester and
Felix Dubront.
oh,
It's probably Felix Dubront, right?
wow, that's so sad.
I know.
And this team, I mean, they went through 3 GMs in the last 15 years, and
Yeah.
they really still.
Felix Dubront is probably the guy. Here we go. Graduated Red Sox. Yeah. Or Eduardo Rodriguez. How far do I got to go back for Felix Dubront? God, they don't even consider him like a good graduate.
He was a poor man's Erod.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what he was. It was something people dreamt on. You know, at least we dream on Eduardo Rodriguez. And
Yeah, I think
nice
Erod's talented. He has
while.
potential, but Felix Dubront sucked. What did he end up getting? A Delta Chicago, right?
Yeah, he spent some time with the A's too.
Oh, he sucked.
He's out of baseball now.
He sucked.
But yeah, with this Red Sox team right now, I don't feel great. I think there are some real issues with this team. I think it's more in terms of, I guess Alex Cora just didn't do a good job warming up a lot of these pitchers and getting off to a slow start like this. It's not good for the team chemistry. Mookie was in the dumps for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
His face, his body language, it was sad. It was very disappointing to see. Because as you see, as Mookie's warmed up, this team goes.
Yeah.
And that makes me question a lot of the leadership on Mookie's part because I don't think he's a true leader.
And it seems like, especially for the first 3 or 4 weeks, I don't even know if his head was in it. I think he was more concerned about the contracts or the
100%
results
agree.
of the contract.
I think he wanted to go out there and
He
show
might have been pissed off. He might have been pissed off.
I think he wanted to go out and show everyone he was better, and then he got down on himself after a couple tough games.
And you see Bogarts flourishing after he gets contract. He had 2 home runs today, and Bogarts has been, it seems like a man on the mission here.
Yeah.
He's been an all-star at this point. He's been awesome.
He's continuing to, it feels like now that ceiling people talked about for so many years,
He's a reality.
He's hitting it right now. With Mookie, do I think he ends up having a good year? Yep. Do I think it's
He's not going to hit 260 this year, obviously.
I think he's going to hit something like probably 300 with like 25, 30 home runs.
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah. And that's still a very, very good player in this league.
But he cost himself, it sounds like he's going to cost himself money.
Because people are going to, the issue is here, I think Mookie sees him at the Trout tier. I don't think he's
I don't
not.
think so either. He's the tier below.
I think he might even, I think the tier below is his peak. I think he's probably another tier down. You know, I think the tier below Trout is what he did last year. And I don't see him repeating that. Everything went right last year for him. And I think with a guy like Mookie Betts, when he plays off energy in hot stretches, that's who he is as a player. When he goes down in a bad slump, it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
And for him to start a year like this, I think it's going to hang over a little bit.
It's tough to recover from. He's a guy that can certainly do it. J.D. Martinez has been good so far this year. Other guys have been streaky. Jackie Bradley has not been good.
He's useless. He's hitting
In
about
terms-
150, I think.
It's a joke at this point. I mean, it seems like he's the odd man out in terms of post-2019 anyway.
I have a feeling JBJ, he's either going to hit the DL or they're going to do something with him in a little bit.
They have to.
They have to give him a break.
But then again, what fourth outfielder do you have?
The chemistry even in the outfield between Jackie and Mookie seemed weird. Like, you remember that the fly ball that dropped in Oakland?
Oh, yeah.
They didn't even say anything to each other.
It was weird, yeah.
The ball dropped and it bounced over the wall and they were just kind of like, they walked away.
Yeah.
So it feels like something with that leadership core, whatever it is, changed. It's a different feel this year. And even though it's the same players, they don't feel as in line chemistry-wise as they once were.
So do you think Bradley is at a point where you need to DL him?
Something's up with Jackie. I don't know what it is, whether he needs to DL, a phantom DL to go fix his mechanics, but if he's going to go out and hit like this, he can't.
The Red Sox can't afford him right now. Well, they're 9-14 now. Again, he's hitting, what do you say, below 150, right?
I think.
141 is
141? Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
So he's not even putting up quality at-bats on a regular basis.
No, and defensively, he's made a few grabs, but I mean, he had that era in
there's been a
Oakland,
couple. Yeah, there's been a couple errors in that outfield where weird balls are dropping in.
He was the 2018 World Series.
Playoff.
Yeah,
That playoff
yeah.
run. Houston.
Yeah, he was the ALCS MVP, right?
Yeah, he had the huge grand
Yeah.
slam against Houston.
Yeah.
A couple big home runs. I think with JBJ, he's a mystery that's not
Do you
going to
look
get
to
solved.
trade him?
No one. Who's going to trade for a 143 hitter?
That's true.
You know what I mean? Or 141, whatever you said his batting average was.
141. Yeah.
141. Yeah. That's
What
the
if he
sad
starts
point.
to get hot again? Because you know how he likes to. Remember, had a hit for like 3 straight weeks.
He's proven that it's going to happen. He'll do it this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know,
yeah, no, I know he will.
it's just
not sustainable.
and no one's gonna buy into that. You know what I mean? There may be a team. Ooh, we got a little. Ooh, you okay, Pom or Brophy? Brophy's
I don't know what happened.
Brophy's about to break the dad. Is it still
Accurate.
playing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so weird. Okay, well, radio station's failing. But
That was weird.
yeah, I think this Red Sox team. I think they're gonna work it out. I think they'll be good. They're not going to be who they were last year. I think they're a step back. I still think they're a playoff team. The division doesn't feel great to me.
Tampa Bay looks legit.
They do, and I don't even think it's just Tampa Bay. I think the Yankees are showing a mental toughness through all these injuries.
With so many of these injuries, they'll be able to
And they're
hang
still
around.
winning with no-name guys.
Was it 2/3 of their roster
Yeah.
came from AAA?
Like Judge, I don't know. I think Judge is going to be out for some time.
The oblique?
Yeah, and they said it's a pretty significant strain.
Stanton's coming back next week, I think.
Sanchez has dealt with injuries.
Yep.
You know, that whole...
Severino hasn't pitched.
No, DJ LeMahieu. Or Betances still hasn't arrived.
Tulowitzki went down.
Yeah, like...
Our guy.
When you have guys like DJ LeMahieu shining through on your roster, and he's hitting home runs, he's doing it all, it's not a great feeling. Jacoby Ellsbury has come and died. Dude, I saw a report that came out about him. It was something like, Jacoby Ellsbury has not played baseball in a while. Like, they didn't have any injury update or anything. He's not going to...
What's up with... What is his latest...
He'll never play a game again.
What's his latest thing?
Nothing.
He just sucks.
He's injured. He has body problems. I don't think he wants to play baseball. Like... He hasn't played a game since 2017, and no one knows what's wrong with him.
That's so sad.
You know what I mean? He's just down at extended spring training. It's one of the that's probably the worst contract, arguably, in sports in terms of a value, because he's giving
Chris
you
Davis
nothing.
is up there too.
Yeah, Chris Davis, bro.
Chris Davis with the C in Baltimore.
Yeah, that Chris Davis story. I get people being excited, but the guy's still hitting 150. Like, it's great. He got a couple hits in a row, but
the Red Sox.
He's not, dude. He's awful. Like, oh yeah, Chris Davis, great redemption story. He sucks. Stop rooting for the guy just because what? Because he feels bad that he sucks. Congratulations.
I know.
I feel bad. I suck.
I know who you're at right now, but it's all right.
Oh yes, hello Nate Olshan. You and your garbage support of this man.
He loves himself some Chris Davis. I love Chris Davis with a K.
He's lit.
He just got re-upped in Oakland. He's
He'll hit
awesome.
247 for the rest of his life.
Yes.
Have you seen that? His batting
the
average?
last 3 years, right?
That's so weird.
That's crazy.
He's hitting 247 this year at one point.
It's crazy. But you know what? He's a great player.
No, he is. He goes out, he's not a superstar, but he's a star. He'll hit you 30, 40 home runs every year. Reminds me a lot of an older Mark Reynolds.
So, by the way, Ellsbury is so he officially got transferred to the 60-day DL. It was due to hip and foot injuries.
Yeah.
No timetable.
Exactly. He's not going to play again.
He needs a new hip.
Okay.
You want to give me a hip, Brophy?
I don't need it. You can have it.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. I got to get something off my chest, boys.
So Tyler took a great... I wish we had, like, Titanic music or something.
I can find something real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You want to go for it, Ben?
Now,
Let's see what we got.
I agree
Should we
with...
find another topic real quick?
Yeah.
Give you a
and
couple
what
minutes?
Tyler says...
Make it quick.
I
If you hear
agree
music in your headphones,
I agree
ignore
with
it.
Tyler was going to say.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Let's hit on some baseball stuff real quick. Let's talk Bryce Harper. Okay, so we saw the Jake Arrieta situation that came out last night.
Yes.
Bryce Harper now has the 12th most ejections in the MLB.
Yes.
He only trails Matt Kemp, who has played 6 more seasons than him.
Yes.
And this is the entire MLB. So Bryce Harper last night, strike 3. The ball looked like a strike to me. I don't know if you saw it.
It was close.
It was like a curveball on the. It was close enough.
Do you think Harper's trying to not reinvent himself, but take that villain role?
No, because he's always done this. He
That's
always
true,
steps
yeah.
out. I think he's just one of those guys. He's like, do you know who you just called strike 3 out?
Very egotistic.
Like, it's like when they call a foul on Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, yo, are you kidding me? I think he has that kind of mindset, and that's why I like Bryce Harper a lot, and he's having a solid year. He had a 5-hit game.
Not what I was looking for.
He had a 5-hit game the other day.
Did he?
But Jake Arrieta stepping out and calling him out amongst that team, that's a very weird place to be
Yes.
at. And Gabe Kapler going out. Yo, Gabe Kapler threw
Are you still
Bryce
with
Harper.
Kapler as a? Do you like him as
Gabe
manager
Kapler.
still?
I
Yeah,
do.
because I know he took a lot of criticism last year.
He didn't.
Remember, he didn't know
He's
how
struggling
to.
with the rules. God.
He didn't know how to pull.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to pull a pitcher out. Remember?
And I think, when you mess with young umps like that or young managers like that, it takes a little bit of a period.
I think Kapler was only out of the game 2 or 3 years.
I couldn't imagine an older guy managing this team. I don't think we have a sound, bro. Do we?
You got a sound. I like that.
What
sound.
is what? You want to go with that one?
Yeah, we'll go with that
Are we
one.
gonna go? I didn't even hear it.
Don't worry about it.
What is this? I'm looking at the name. It's even better.
What's the name of it? I can't see it from here.
What's up, bad? What is? I don't even know what that is.
Who might you save?
Oh, I see it. I see it now. I definitely can't say that on air, right? No, I don't think so.
So I'll explain it. So Tyler has some beef with the GM. Oh, not GM. I'm sorry. The president of baseball operations. One of David Dombrowski. Dombrowski's history here. He's screwed over multiple MLB franchises, and he's finally screwed over Tyler Milliken's boy, Blake Swihart. And I agree. Blake Swihart got screwed. And before you go on your Swihart rant, can you tell me about Marcus Wilson? Is he any good or no?
Yes.
All right, good. I was going to ask you about that. All right.
I'll explain it at the end of this.
All right. So, all right, good. Because I'll let you go. I'm very curious about Marcus Wilson.
So-
You can shut my mic off. I'm good for now.
What has it been, a week? Has it been a week? About a week, Pombo?
Yeah, about a week.
All right. About a week ago, crisis fully hit the Red Sox. They had been destroyed it was going into the Yankee series, Chris Sale's start. Heading into the Yankee series, they were looking to change pace. The Red Sox begging, looking for something to give them some energy. There had been talk over those first couple weeks of the season whether Sandy Leon was the savior. Sandy
125 in Pawtucket.
Sandy the savior, right? As Blake Swihart came out, was a spark plug for this team, who got them a few of their first wins of the season. His batting average dropped down to 231. Listen, he was still lighting the ball up across the field.
You know what? And especially the series against Oakland, he was really hitting the ball very well.
He was just hitting into outs. It happens. He wasn't getting consistent at bats.
No, but I'm sure the analytic people said he was hitting the ball pretty well.
So, Blake Swihart, it felt like the tide was turning. He had already gathered. Red Sox Nation was backing Blake Swihart.
It felt like it.
Then we go into the Yankee series. Chris Sale's fragile self, his fragile mentality. Dave Dombrowski, you hooligan. You listen here, Dave Dombrowski. You joke. You went ahead. You have a Red Sox team that is strapped in extensions for the next couple of seasons. You have a young Blake Swihart who this organization messed around with him year after year after year. You put the dude in left field and he broke his ankle.
I was at that game.
Yes, he sat on the couch. He had to sit there.
Game, yes.
You have this. He learned to play.
It was at my birthday.
Yeah, spent all this time trying to learn catcher. Great pop times, great throw times, hitting the ball on the mark to the second baseman. I just hurt my wrist. Listen, we waited for Blake Swihart to hit and hit. 2015, he came out. He hit 250 something for the
like
year.
That, yeah.
Even higher in the second half. He was supposed to be the catcher of the future, the Buster Posey comps.
Joe
over
Mauer.
the years, the Joe Mauer comps, all of them.
What was the highest he got in the system? Was he?
He was number one. Blake Swihart was the number one prospect in this system. Back Henry Owen days.
Oh my
Brian
God,
Johnson,
Henry,
all them coming up.
Henry Owens,
Yes.
man. Oh, play that again, Ben. You gotta play that again once it's over.
Yes. Do you like the music?
The music, yes.
But Blake Swihart, getting ready. I believe they had what's the holiday? Patriots Day.
Yes.
Patriots Day.
Yes.
Blake Swihart, I believe.
Last Monday.
Yeah. Did he play? Vasquez played second base. Swihart caught that game? Yes. Swihart caught that game. People thought he was showcasing. Blake Swihart goes, a regular game, whatever. Next day.
Yes, because they didn't want Pedroia to play second base because of the field conditions. Yes.
And Blake Swihart, we wake up, we see the news, middle of the day.
I alerted Tyler.
I get a text from Jason Pombo that says, Al, and I knew it could only be one thing. I knew it could only be one thing that would truly hurt me.
Was it L?
And I go on Twitter and I see true Blake Swihart rage. Every person had no understanding. Dave Dombrowski, you have a contract that goes through the end of the year. That's where that contract is ending now. There's no choice. You traded away a guy who would have become your starting catcher for the next 10 years. The next Jason Varitek you guys were looking for was Blake Swihart. Who did Blake Swihart have dinner with before he left for Arizona?
I have no idea.
Jason Varitek and his wife. Jason Varitek.
Catherine, right? Catherine?
Yes, Catherine.
Yes.
Who, very close associate to Jared Carabas. I'm sorry.
That was good.
They seem to have a lot of fun at Red Sox games.
That's great.
Blake Swihart sitting there, finally showing life. You waited years, year after year after year. You set them down after he dropped a pop behind the plate against the Orioles. What, 8 games into the season? Dave Dombrowski, you waited all this time and you DFA him like this. If you did it like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, people would have understood. Kid hit all spring training. Comes in. Every Blake Swihart at bat, my heart was beating.
Yes.
I was rooting for my man.
Yes.
And now,
in his life, suddenly.
Now we welcome Sandy Leone.
And Marcus Wilson.
Yes, Marcus Wilson. We sent international draft pool money. Marcus Wilson's a raw prospect. I believe he was I want to say a second round pick back in 2014.
Right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very raw prospect. Very toolsy. He had the power. The power has really never came to fruition. Very low hit tool. He's hit a lot of 240, 250. Plays a decent glove in the outfield. Nothing too crazy. But he's not a star. He's not a top 10 prospect. He's just a guy you kind of dream
So you don't
on.
think they got value back? They could have got. All right.
It's not
could
even
they
close.
have? All right.
You
Could they have
lost-
got more for him?
No, that was the best you're going to get at this point. Just because of the way they handled the situation.
The time to deal him, if you were going to do it, was
Probably at the end of spring training. That's probably when you would have made the move and you could have got a reliever. But
yes,
no.
someone that can help the bullpen. For
Dave
sure.
Dombrowski waited, and he panicked.
Yes, I like this too.
God. And now, Blake gets shipped out. The Red Sox team's quiet. They're claiming left and right the starting pitchers didn't do it. Oh, Chris Sale.
So do you think it was Dombrowski or Sale?
All of them.
Or a collaboration.
All of them. It was a collaboration.
They all went in the lab and
Yes.
they said, we're going to screw over Tyler Milliken
Yes.
today.
Listen, how do you give up a catcher? Baseball, arguably the most important position on the field is catcher. You have a guy, don't get me wrong, Christian Vasquez is okay. Okay. He's barely hitting above 200, Jason. I know he had a great
I like
series
Vasquez.
against Tampa.
Oh, I love that throw down
But,
first.
okay,
Loved
so
it.
tell me, a defensive stud catcher who makes big plays here and there and hits home runs sometimes, what does that remind you of? A backup catcher.
Yeah.
So, you know what we go? We get a worse backup catcher and call him up in Sandy Leone. Sandy Leone can't hit 200. I swear to God, if I hear he's a future Hall of Famer one more time, shut up, please.
He had a rough day today.
Oh, my
We'll
God.
say the least.
He can't hit a baseball.
You see what happened to him today, right?
Yes, he took a ball to the to whatever what people think he tends to have on this team. That's going
man.
to change the dynamic of the Red Sox.
Whatever it was, he doesn't have him anymore.
He's not even the one turning the Red Sox rotation around. Is Christian Vasquez on? Christian Vasquez is a good defensive catcher, a very good.
Yeah.
Blake Swihart has shown the ability to become a very good defensive catcher. I don't think he looked lost out there this year.
He looked better this year than he did last year, for sure.
I don't want to say he looked average. You know what I mean? Like a
that's
typical catcher.
That's a fair way to put it, I think.
I truthfully believe he went to the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's with Torey Lovello now.
And the GM, what's his name?
Mike Hazen. Yep. He joins them over there, and Blake Swihart's not. They're full at catcher. But you know why the Diamondbacks traded for him?
So what's their
They
plan?
know what he is.
What's their plan for him?
Super utility. He's gonna be a super utility guy. So he's gonna play.
Do you like that or no?
I think he just needs.
It seems
playing
like you
time.
want him to just like to be that catcher. Just give him the reins.
I believe if you made him a catcher full time, he would turn into a starting caliber
So
catcher.
it's just going to be a stopgap, and he's going to end up somewhere else.
No, I think there's a chance he could take over at catcher. I think he's that special of a player. Let's pull up the Diamondbacks depth chart real quick. They're not sitting here with like this studded team by any means. They're looking to kind of rebuild right now. They did that like
Obviously
mid-rebuild.
dealt Paul Goldschmidt in the offseason.
Yep, AJ Pollock left in free agency. So they've lost quite a few impact pieces. David Peralta is probably their best hitter at this point. But here we go. Diamondbacks depth chart. They have Carson Kelly, who. So they were carrying 3 catchers. I think it's 4 now.
They have 4 on the roster, including Swihart.
Carson Kelly, I believe he's known pretty well as a good prospect, but hasn't had
Who's
that
their starting
success in the
catcher?
MLB.
Is that Kelly?
It's a mix. It's Carson Kelly, John Ryan Murphy's over there, and Caleb Joseph. So no one here is really going to stop Blake Swihart if he flourishes. My guess is he serves that utility role, earns more playing time as the year goes along, and gets a shot at the starting catching job next year. You just don't find pieces like this. And as much as Dave Dombrowski wants to justify the situation, how do you have a prospect finally meet somewhat expectations
It
after
seems
4
like,
years.
It seems like they screwed Swihart and the whole situation up from day one.
Yes. And
I think it just...
they punted. They were like, I give up.
It's been bad from day one, and I think they got to a point where they're just like, you know what, we screwed it up from the beginning.
But if I mess something up, right? And then I finally saw it start coming back together, and I ruined it again.
I think they were getting a little desperate.
No, they did. They panicked.
Yeah.
Dave Dombrowski panicked as the president of baseball operations, and he should be held accountable for that.
And then Chavis was the second panic move.
Yes, agreed. They're looking for solutions. Dave Dombrowski cannot stay calm. I don't know what the issue is. He's scared. His deal ends at the end of the year. That's what it is. He's trying to find a way to give this team some life to save him, because if they fall, if this team's, hovering around 500 around July,
Well, they can't really do anything.
no,
at that point.
they'll hold through the rest of the year. But around that time, if they're at 500, that will seal his fate.
I'm talking about they can't even improve the team.
No,
That's what I'm talking about.
because Dombrowski has gone out and given extensions to these guys, which is fine. Don't get, you have to pay to get
gotta
star
pay, yeah,
players.
you gotta pay.
But if you have a guy who can make the minimum,
You also got to draft well.
yeah, if you have a guy who makes the minimum, who could step in at starting catcher, play other positions in a pinch, and has the ability to probably be a 270, 280 guy in the MLB with 15 jacks and probably 10 stolen bases. That sounds like a pretty useful guy to me.
Yeah.
And you said goodbye just because you panicked and you wanted Sandy Leon.
He hits on his big name guys. He hits on the Chris Sale acquisition.
The
but I feel
inability
like
for him to value a farm system is so dangerous in the MLB today, because truly what everyone dreams about and talks about are the teams with the top farm systems. What's next?
And it's not like he's just done this in Boston.
He destroyed Detroit.
I'm buddies with, trust me, a Tigers fan.
He put them in ruins.
Yes, I went to the Red Sox weekend with.
Yes.
We all saw Dombrowski. We all took a picture. So one of my buddies was a Tigers fan. He refused to take a picture with Dombrowski.
I don't blame him.
He refused.
Dombrowski.
He said that he screwed over my franchise the next 5 years.
Dave Dombrowski has one thing he can do, and
Pay.
he
Pull
can
out the
pay.
checkbook.
Yes, he wrote the checkbook. And Ben Cherington, don't get me
I
wrong,
love Ben Cherington.
I would take Ben Cherington in a heartbeat right now.
So what is he? He's the assistant GM out in Toronto?
Yes, he's over there, and it's looking like he's going to have a job elsewhere in the MLB pretty soon. My guess is by the end of the year, Dave Dombrowski.
He was a little middle ground. He wasn't too prospect heavy. He paid the wrong people.
Exactly.
I mean, the Sandoval, it didn't end up working out.
You need to find that middle ground.
Yeah.
Like someone who can develop the system
he was like that
and
middle
sign.
Because he trust me, he loved his
But with
prospects.
success. Find that middle ground with success, because, he paid Pablo and Hanley.
A lot of the guys in the team he's drafted.
Yes,
Cherington, yeah.
just about most of them.
Yeah.
And what's shaped today, and Ben Cherington, he never takes credit, but we know what he did. He built this farm system into the best one in baseball
Was
at
he
one
assistant
point.
under Theo?
Yes. It's just Dave Dombrowski, the way he's running this team is not sustainable.
I'll bring
it's
back
that simple.
Cherington. I'll bring him back.
I truthfully believe this is the last year from Dave Dombrowski, and if the
How
Red
old
Sox,
is he, by the way?
he's old.
He's got to be pushing 60s, huh?
I think he's closer to
Mid-60s?
70s. Yeah, I think so. I want to say 64. He has nice hair.
He's got great hair.
Dombrowski
great
is
hair.
62. Yeah.
He's been in the MLB close to 30 years?
Yes. He's the definition of an old school guy. I don't think he lasts. The Red Sox are going to want to move towards analytics, and I feel like they're starting to fall behind in that department in certain ways.
He's going to retire?
Probably. They'll probably call it that. But I'm excited to see a new GM. I don't think they'll name another president of baseball operations like that, just because there's probably not a name that big they can get. I think
so?
I think they're going to go for someone a little smaller, new. You know what I mean? A new face. Blake Swihart's going to be something the Red Sox regret for a very long time. A very, very long time.
Cue the music, Ben. One last
One more time.
One last time. Oh, you don't got it up? Never mind.
It's gone now.
Blake.
Whose fault is that?
You're going to have to sing it for us.
Oh, Blake, I'll always love you, no matter what happens.
Did you buy the jersey yet?
No, I have not. But Diamondbacks jerseys are pretty clean.
Yeah,
so I
like
kind of
the
mess with
logo,
that.
like
Yeah.
They're cool.
I think the
said he was going to
Diamondbacks are a
Baltimore.
great place. If there was waivers,
Yeah.
he ended up getting dealt. I hope for Blake's sense.
Your only issue is the West Coast. You just stay up. You don't like to stay up, Tyler.
Yeah, I know. I'll watch the games in the morning like I usually do. Ooh, is that it? Okay, Blake. Whenever you're feeling bad, just listen to this. We love you, Blake. Jason, you a Blake Swihart supporter at this point?
Supporter at this point, yeah.
Okay. Do you think Sandy Leon is able to do anything this year valuable?
He's going to hit a walk-off just to piss you off.
Yeah, that'll probably be it. In case anyone wants to know, Ben, you want to hop on the mic and tell me what you think Sandy Leon's batting average is?
Oh, if I had to guess,
Say 100.
probably close to about 100.
Pombo?
It's
You
zero.
know.
It's zero.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 0.
Sandy Leon's batting 0.
How many bats did he have? 4 or 5?
Probably not counting today's game. I can pull it up on Baseball Reference.
Did he get a hit today?
Probably not. I saw Red Sox stats put out. Watching Sandy Leon hit is like horrendous or something like that. Yeah, he didn't get a hit today. He's hitting a big 0.
I know he had runners on third and second, runners in scoring position. I think he grounded out.
He struck out twice on 3 pitches against the Yankees. How do you? Come on, man. You're not even like putting up an at bat.
Who struck him out?
I don't even remember who it was. It was 2 different pitchers. It's just, I don't like Sandy Leon. That's it.
I know.
And listen, I think Christian Vasquez is going to have a fun year. I think he's going to do some interesting things.
Yep.
But I don't think he'll ever be the starting catcher they would hope.
So what happens if one of them goes down? You know, Zue Win was the emergency catcher today. They got anyone up in like Pawtucket, just like chilling
to come up in case there's any injuries.
Yeah. Just curious.
Our old friend Dan Butler retired.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I miss my boy. If there's an injury, it would probably be Juan Soteño, if I recall off the top of my head.
I'd rather have Zue Win.
Right now with the Paw Sox, Juan Soteño is the starting catcher. Jake Romanski is probably the better name. He's the backup catcher at AAA right now. Okay, I don't know. I can't read. Jason, please. Thank you. We had a note dropped off. Jake Romanski's probably the name that would be a little more exciting, a little closer to an OBP guy. But neither one of those guys are anything you hope for.
This doesn't involve our show. We're good.
Oh, good. All right, should we take one last break here before we get into questions?
Yep.
Sound good, Pombo? All right, thank you everyone for listening to me complain about Blake Swihart. I appreciate it.
Blake Aubrey Swihart.
Yes, my mans. All right, we'll be back in a few.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.
Ooh, the Final 5 with Pombo and Milliken.
Oh.
Did I just create a segment?
Yes.
Or is that someone else's segment? Probably somebody else's.
Someone else's.
It's yours now.
It's the Wiggles.
All right, Pombo, you want to hit us with their questions?
Yes.
Thank
all right,
you guys for sending them in.
No problem. First question is, what do you think of Tim Anderson and his bat flip, Tyler? What do you
let
think?
the kids play. I'm going to stick with that. Tim Anderson flipping the bat like that, that's lit. Brad Keller, you're a lame for throwing that ball at him. And also the way the MLB handled that situation, extremely poor. I'm disgusted by the fact that Tim Anderson got suspended for the word he said. Have some context. Realize, you know what I mean? Like, are you that blind to the world?
I love Tim Anderson.
No, I do too.
He's good for baseball.
Everyone should flip the bat. Everybody. There's been a ton of bat flips.
I do it in
this year.
softball.
Yeah. Are you a bat
Still
flipper?
batting 1,000.
Oh, Jason
Still
Pombo.
batting 1,000.
Hey, man.
9 for 9.
Maybe the Red Sox, they get desperate enough.
Hey,
you might
maybe.
go play second base for a
Maybe.
little bit.
Captain Dylan is going to move me up in the order. I'm just kidding.
All right, next question, Jay.
All right, next question. Tyler, Bruins, Maple Leafs, Game 7 tonight. Who you got? Ben, you can talk too, Ben.
I like, you know what? I think everybody knows me and Jason are not the...
What are you talking
No,
about?
shut up, Jason.
Jason's, I think Jason knows a lot about hockey.
I think I do too.
Hey, listen, Jason Pombo gives me hockey lessons every day.
Yep.
NHL Network, you hiring? Okay.
I've learned everything from Seth.
Do I think... Oh, my God. Do I think the Bruins win tonight? I like Bruce Cassidy, sure.
Maple Leafs win 3-1.
Okay.
The Anderson goalie, he's awesome.
I mean, honestly, if it's me, I'm picking the Bruins tonight. Home ice, as long as the ice isn't as bad as it was in Game 5, apparently.
Boom.
I think you give that line one, you give Marchand, Bergeron, Pasternak. They get some good plays, they get some good redirects, and some puck luck, as Jason Pombo likes to
Little
put it.
puck
luck. Puck luck.
Little puck luck. They got the game.
Okay.
That's what I think. But Anderson could totally steal it. Absolutely. Anderson's been going off.
This guy's awesome.
He's that
Absolutely.
special?
Yeah, I don't even know his first name. What's his first name?
Is it Corey?
Frederick.
Oh,
Frederick?
wow. I was
He's
Frederick
awesome.
Anderson.
He's awesome. All right, so piggybacking off that, who wins the Stanley Cup?
I'm going the Washington Nationals because Alexander Ovechkin. Oh, the Washington Nationals, the Washington Capitals. You know what I meant. Listen. You're talking to a kid who talks baseball all day long. I know the difference. The Washington Capitals, yes. Alexander Ovechkin, they won last year. I think they're going to repeat. I like the fact that Alexander Ovechkin will die on the ice. So
Yeah, I'm going to go with the New York Islanders. I think the titleless drought of Nate Olshan finally ends in 2019.
Oh, my God. Does Nate know hockey?
He probably a little bit more than us.
I'm also rooting for Dallas. I'm a big
You like
fan
Sagan?
of Tyler Sagan. Shares the name Tyler.
Ah,
Also, he parties with Mike Stud. I think that's pretty cool.
that's cool.
Do your thing.
Ben, who you got?
You're going to hate me. I got the Bruins. Here's why. If they can win this game tonight,
Okay.
they are they have the best regular season record of any other team.
Yep.
The Islanders are in 5th, Bruins are in 3rd.
Ooh.
Every top seed has gotten knocked out
Oh.
other than the Capitals,
Yeah.
who could totally make it through. But the fact that the wild card is giving the top seed in the Metro a run for its money. Look, I think that if the Bruins can get past it, I think they can get past whoever they're well, I think they can get past the Blue Jackets, I can tell you that. And if they can get past Washington or the Islanders for the conference finals, they'll make it to the finals.
Washington always gives them problems, but they have
Washington has choked in the conference finals for all but 1 year. And guess what year that was? Last year.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. The Bruins, they have home ice throughout if they win.
Yep.
They have the best regular season team left.
That was Ben Brophy bringing the hockey knowledge race week.
One last question, Tyler. So Thursday,
my plug for Ben, race week rundown. Check him out, man.
Sorry.
Jeez, Thursday.
Thank you.
Thursday is the draft.
Yes.
We're going to be on with the Wiggle and Brandon Clay.
And I will be on right before.
Yes.
Ben Brophy will be on
Make
right
sure
before.
you tune in.
And
He'll
producer.
be hyping us up.
Oh, let's go.
Yes. So Brophy is also producing for us.
Yep.
For the draft show. So also Thursday, the new Avengers movie comes out. Tyler, are you going to see it?
Okay, so I've never seen an Avengers movie.
I knew this is bad.
What is it? That's Marvel?
Yes.
So Batman won't be in the movie?
Correct.
So it's useless.
But Spider-Man's in it. You like Spider-Man?
I do like Spider-Man a lot, but I like Spider-Man when he's on his own. He's more of a lone wolf to me.
Yeah.
I like Tom Holland. He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude.
Zendaya's in the Spider-Man movies. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben, you going to see it?
Not unless I go with someone, honestly. I don't care enough.
So Ben needs a date. That's what I got out of that.
Please call in 617-333-2117. You can get a date with Ben Brophy. Go see the new Avengers movie.
It looks good. It looks good.
The phone's ringing off the hook. Oh, sorry.
We
Ben.
wish.
Hey, we love you, Ben.
It's a 3-hour movie. It's a long time.
Dude, no one has time for that.
Yeah.
I'll sit through my
I'll
4-hour baseball
end up
game.
seeing it, but someone's going to spoil it for me like Thursday, like Nate.
Nate will be texting you live updates. Big kid, did you see it? Big kid, I'm not at the movie, Nate. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, you're on the radio, huh? Who'd the Jets pick again? Oh, they picked that guy from Alabama.
Holy crap. Okay.
I like him.
That's enough of Pombo Milliken this week. Yeah, in case you guys missed it, Ben's probably going to play the liner. Or did we have a liner for?
Yes, we have for the draft.
coverage?
Sony
Yes,
Michelle.
Yes. Yeah, you're Sony Michelle liner. Make sure you guys tune in. This episode, if you're just tuning in now, will be posted to YouTube along with the episode from a couple weeks ago.
Catch us Thursday.
Yes.
At
Thursday.
draft starts at 8. We'll probably be on 7:45.
Yes, just a little warm up leading in.
Yes.
And we'll step it up even better than last year.
Correct. We're gonna have some people call in.
Yep. Who knows what fans of what teams they'll be, but I can't wait to hear them on the radio.
Can't wait to hear the Giants.
Oh God.
Yeah, that is actually a really good point.
Yes,
we
go
will be
ahead,
accepting
Ben.
calls there.
Yes.
So if you want to call in tomorrow after 7:45, call 617-333-2117. I lied. It's Thursday. Thank you.
Wait, no, it's not that number. It's
No, it's not.
It's my office number. Let me
Oh.
run down.
Are we gonna have to
hold it down?
Hold
boys.
off.
All right, I'll have a conversation.
Tyler, I
with
believe in you.
Ben.
So how much hockey do you really know?
You know,
Pombo?
Ben, I know a little bit more than you think.
Now, who did you have? You had the Islanders?
I get the Islanders. His door's locked.
His door's locked. It's over.
That was a great catch.
That was impressive.
Yes, but yeah, I'm going with the Islanders. I'm going with the Islanders.
And what was your why? Any specific reason?
So they had first round. They were awesome, and they actually
absolutely.
So they actually have a coach who knows how to coach now. They have the former Capitals coach who won the Stanley Cup last year.
Yep.
Apparently, this guy knows what he's doing. Don't ask me his name because I don't know what it is.
I can't remember it,
yeah.
but I know who it is. I just can't
Yes,
remember it.
I know his face and everything. He's got the mustache, gray hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but I think he's a pretty good coach. I think a team to not be reckoned with is also the Dallas Stars.
Hey,
And
Tyler
Chris
Milliken.
I forgot it.
By the time you got
2386
so 617-333.
What's the number?
2386.
There you go. That's
617-333-2386.
Hey, you got my keys?
No, they're in the door. You can talk to our screener, Caitlin.
Caitlin, yes.
Caitlin will be holding it down.
Absolutely.
So yeah, please call.
Jabini.
Yes, Caitlin Jabini, our future assistant news director.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Give her that little shout out.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a weird episode of
Yes.
Pombo and Milliken.
We'll see you Thursday.
Yes, make sure to tune in Thursday, and we'll catch y'all later.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.